Man, if it's not one thing, it's another. Just finished my college essay. Feels amazing. You know, it's always something. I don't know. I don't know why. Listen, power went out and then internet wasn't working and I was like, fuck it. I just sat at the house for a few hours. Fuck everything. And now I'm back, but everything seems to be working. Good times. Kick is down? No shot. Right now? Of course it is. Whatever. Fuck me. Oh, we're gonna play this game too. Okay. No. Stop. No. Hold on one second. Destiny's not done. Why didn't my kick stream start? Can you believe the drama? Oh, it has nothing to do with Nathan or Nathan's mom. You guys are way out of line. I don't even know where we were with all my shit. Connect to network. Oh, nice. Let's see. What is this? It was the Elon Musk clip on Twitter. Oh yeah. Hold on. What is this clip? Is this working? Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know. Oh, cool. Since my power went out, my... what is not working? This? Hello? Okay. Is it working now? Hold on. Wow. We're really, going full meme mode, huh? Was genuinely surprised to see you on a Red Pill podcast. I definitely feel like the Red Pill is just about dead. Your job is done. You have to go on this podcast. Wait, when was the last one I've been on? I feel like it's been a while. Why, do you see Tree of Logic expose Alex from PWF? I don't. I have not. And I'm trying to figure out why this isn't working. Oh, this? No? Would you agree with the statement that Henry Kissinger did more to promote peace around the world than anyone in the last 1,000 years? If not, why? I don't know enough about Kissinger's overall accomplishments. So I super would not be able to give you an informed opinion on that. My guess is, if I had to guess, he was probably one of the most peaceful people in the history of the world, just because of how much everybody in the left hates him, and they seem to get a lot of things wrong. So that would be my wildly uneducated, but truly I have no idea. I don't know. Okay, sounds. Test. Yeah, okay. Playback. Properties. Huh. Oh, hold on. Let's see, sounds. Ah, what is this? DualSense. Streaming microphone. Stereo mix. Wait, recording. No, I'm looking for playback. This. Oh no, why can't I hear it? Oh. What is happening? Hello? This remote doesn't even fucking work. There we go. Okay, this is getting here. And then I should be looking at playback over here? No, I should be looking at recording, right? Is it this?
Jesus Christ.
Dude,
If you're
I
a
don't remember how do I have my audio set up? Unmute tab. No, look, it's playing sound here. Or is it not? Hello? Playback. Properties. Playback. Am I playing back here? Or am I looking at the recording for the stereo mix? No, I'm playing it back here. That's what I should be doing. Oh God, why is it not getting to this? Okay, when I test here, oh, I am getting sound over there. You guys aren't getting that sound though. Why? Oh, this. Apply. Okay, right click test. Oh, you guys hear that. Why don't I hear it? Oh. There we go. Okay. Jesus. Bro, it's been too long since I've set my shit up. I'm like forgetting. There's a sample rate error. It's here. Apply, yes. There we go. Okay. Okay, Jesus.
To say, with the rise in violence in relationships as a result of COVID lockdown, do you think that women committing violence against their male partners contributes to men's issues? And then
Oh,
Seven-
Jesus Christ. If you're a man, you can't take a fucking punch from a woman. Grow up. Grow up.
Hold on.
No, we do not
Grow the
condone.
fuck
Did
up.
you
We
see
do
the
not
video on
stand. We
Twitter
do not
where the
stand.
girl like
No.
flying kicks
We do
the
not
guy?
stand.
No, we do not
men,
condone.
this is the thing about self-restraint,
Bro.
right? You need to know that you are the bigger, stronger sex generally, okay? That means that you do not hit your partner back when they hit on you. You have the power to move your woman and to restrain her, right? You could like
People never understand how difficult like non-compliance is. I don't think people, even with women, people don't understand how difficult that is. Like, unless your boyfriend is literally like a fucking bodybuilder, jujitsu, has 100 pounds over the woman, and she's like, it is really hard to control somebody that doesn't want to be controlled. Bro, it's hard to pick up a 10-year-old that doesn't want to be controlled, or a 6-year-old that doesn't want to be controlled sometimes. The idea that you can take a fully grown adult who might be smacking you, slashing your nails, stabbing you, like, yeah. Obviously, this is obviously, I don't know why I'm arguing against like Lab, but
just don't. And if she does hit you, fucking leave the room. What are you doing? You are the
What?
bigger, stronger sex.
Listen,
Move.
I've heard literally
Here's the
these
problem.
things.
We
I
live
wa-
in the era where social media and everything's recorded.
Why are you?
Everything's
Why do you
What the
guys?
fuck?
It's like you.
wait, what does her voice sound like? Why do I feel like, why is this guy? What are you spam calling me for?
I'm not spam calling you. I just called you this one time. Number one. Number two, what the fuck is that message? I'll pay when I pay. The fuck? Okay, cool. You don't want to pay on the 28th.
Q,
Fine.
you have to stop
But it-
spamming me days before payment because you're running out of money somehow, saying I need to pay you early. Stop.
Okay,
You are
no. First of all,
out of
no, no,
pocket.
it's,
You're
no,
wild.
it's not that. No, it's not
Yes.
that. It's not that. It's not that. You don't get it. You don't get it. Inconsiderate shit. First of all, I hate having to like fucking explain shit. But you know what? Fine, I'll explain it. It's the weekend. When it
Okay.
gets to the weekend,
Hold on,
and
you
then
know I'm
send
streaming,
it-
right?
Yeah, okay, fuck it, whatever. Right?
Okay.
It's the weekend, right? When the shit gets sent on the weekend, I have to fucking wait the entirety of the fucking weekend. And it's annoying, because I fucking hate that shit. So
You-
whenever the fucking
How
end
did
of
you
the
go
month falls
from
on a weekend,
How did you go from not having any type of job like this 6 months ago to now you're dying if you don't get this money exactly on the fucking
no,
first?
No, I'm not dying. First of all, I'm not dying. It's just that if it's on the first, I want it to be on the fucking first. I don't want it to be on the fourth, because a couple of times it's been on the fourth and the fifth, and it's fucking annoying.
Listen,
know
most
what I mean?
people. First of all, a lot of people pay on net 30. Okay, they don't even pay you a month later. Okay, I generally pay out anywhere from. It's usually within a day. Sometimes it's 1 to 3 if I'm traveling. You'll be okay. This is how I pay everybody. I'm not going to cater everybody's payment schedule to the time zone
Just
that they're in,
fucking
or
wait, hold
them
on.
not getting money
It's
for
not
3 days because of your
time zone.
Qatari fucking bank shit routing you shit. Okay,
No,
that's on your
see,
shit.
Why are you making it sound unreasonable right now? That's what I'm confused by. Why are you trying to make me sound like a fucking insane? Listen, all I said is, if it ever falls on a weekend, right? If the end of the month, beginning of next month, falls on a weekend, just do it a fucking day earlier, so at least
Okay.
I wouldn't have to wait
That's
till fucking
fine.
Monday.
Okay, I agree. If you want to set this up like this, then you need to do what I originally said, and you need to give me your full name
Ah,
and contact
come
info so that I can
on.
run you through payroll and it'll pay automatically. As it stands right now, I've got to go do a whole special PayPal thing because you're in another country. I got to pick another currency.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, I've got to pick another currency. I've got to pick a different type of way to send the money. I've got to do it through like a business transfer. There's a whole bunch of random
The
fucking shit that I have to
takes
do.
Literally fucking 5 minutes max if you stretch
That's fine. There's a lot of people that want just 5 minutes from me. If you want to be paid through payroll automatically and you want that shit processed snappy, then I could put you in payroll, but you didn't want to give me your name or anything. So, okay, fine. Well, I'm going to do the PayPal and I'll do it usually I do it on the night of the first is when I pay out all my people, okay?
What is it? So, the night of the first, is it today for you?
Yeah, it would be today. As soon as I end stream, and then I go to pay all my credit cards, make sure all my bills are paid, and then I shoot everybody their payments, and I make sure the payroll ran correctly. Because that's what I do on the night of the first, because this is pay time for everybody. Yes.
Okay, keep me updated too, by the way. I don't want to fucking be left in the dark.
Hold
So
on,
here
you're
fucking
not
messaging you.
left in the dark. When you message me 4 or 5 days early asking for a paycheck early and I say nothing, I'm not leaving you
Sure,
in the
4 or 5
dark.
days later, it was on the 29th of my day. Or
Okay,
my
which is the
fucking time zone.
28th for me, okay? So when you're asking me to
Okay.
get paid early, yeah, that's not leaving you in the dark if I don't respond right away. I'm probably just paying you in the normal time. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Okay. See,
Uh-huh.
would it have been so hard if you did it before stream? Would it have been impossible? Because it
My
makes a difference. You
process
stream
for
for
paying
like 12
people,
hours.
I'm not gonna about to stream for 12 hours. Look for me. But my process for paying people is I open up my employment pad. I go through everybody that needs a manual paycheck. Then I go through in my inbox all of the invoices that I have, and then I pay that through my payroll company. And then after that, I go through my then I go to my payroll processor and I make sure that all my payroll run correctly. That's what I do when I pay people. I'm not going to do one exception to like, oh, well, I'll pay this guy 3 days early because then that fucks everything because then I forget people, I'll fuck shit up. I'd rather just do all of it on the night of the first when I pay everybody. That's my process. Yeah. Or if you want to be added to payroll and have it come out automatically,
Stop.
then just give me
It's
your
not
first and
gonna-
last name,
I'm
and I
not
could
fuck-
and your all of your
I'm not
W-9
fucking-
information, whatever, and I could process everything perfectly because that's how most of the people that get paid exactly on time do that. Very easy. Yeah, 100%. Boom.
Okay. You go end stream soon?
Yeah, and then I'll shoot you. But you told me it takes days for it to get to you, so it's not like you're sitting
No,
here
it
waiting for
doesn't take days. PayPal.
Oh,
no,
now
PayPal,
it doesn't.
no,
Now it's
No,
instant.
PayPal. No. Obviously, PayPal comes to me quick. It's the shit from PayPal to the bank that's fucking annoying. That's the thing that I'm talking to you about. It's not from PayPal to PayPal is quick, right?
Okay.
But it's PayPal to bank that's fucking annoying. You get me? That's
I
it.
get you. Okay. Well, I'll have it done is before I go to sleep tonight because that's that's what I do every single month on the first. Yeah,
Add a couple of zeros for emotional distress. That's all I gotta say. Anyways,
Okay. Be careful.
All right, go back to your stream, man.
Yep,
All
love you,
right,
bye.
take care. All right, bye.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't care about. We don't need this. What else did I open up for today? Jesus, what a fucking day. We've got this.
Hello.
58-minute DSP video. Why would you link me this? Why not give me a timestamp? I'm not watching this. Good meme. We've got 10-hour Hassan stream link. Apparently he watches me in this video. Don't know if I care. All right. What is this?
So we're here with
Oh, I think I had timestamps to these videos earlier, but I think when my power died, I think I lost all the timestamps or they got deleted from the URLs. That doesn't make sense that Google would only save prior to the timestamps. Wow, Darius, thanks for the host, buddy.
famed MAGA communist JJ McCullough. JJ, what is MAGA?
Hour and 30 minutes. Or maybe there were no timestamps. Maybe somebody just wanted me to watch, yeah. Two Hassan clips about you. Just watch the clips. And then we've got the Merc off to perk thing. Oh boy. What is this?
Guy, every time I see clips,
Why was Hassan watching like a month-old video of me talking to somebody about this conflict? Why wouldn't he find something a little bit more up to date? Why would he respond to something so long ago? What do you want?
Hey, Hottie, how we doing?
Oh, it's part of another video. I'm doing great. How you doing, buddy?
Good, good. I figured, you're live now. You left me on red for 8 hours.
Yeah,
It felt
you
like-
know, we'll see if my apartment's power magically goes out again or some dumb shit, but here I am.
Yeah, it was like a middle school date all over again, dude. It was some serious PTSD.
True. Well, I made it. What's up?
Awesome. I was wondering if you just wanted to shoot the shit about Hassan since the fucking warpath is over.
Sure, I'm not beating the obsessed allegations, but what about him?
I don't know. I was gonna say like, I don't know. I guess let's start with this. when I was debating Hassan,
Uh-huh.
and also just throughout my research with him, he would always say like shit like oh yeah, these obsessed like neoliberals with me, these obsessed neoliberals, and it was very clear that that was like about you. Or he'd say these crazy these violent Nazi guys, which obviously means like Sam Hyde.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering like what made you such a boogeyman where he like wouldn't say your name?
I mean, we've got like a really long history with each other. And Hassan, the way that Hassan navigates social media is typically if you're dealing with people that are, this isn't just Hassan actually, this is just like a general rule. Everybody does this. If somebody's significantly smaller than you and they could have a very negative impact on you and you don't see yourself ever having like a positive interaction with them, then you choke them, no free clout, basically. And the goal for that is you can kind of subtly communicate to your fan base that you don't like them or trash their arguments, but you're not actually giving them enough air for people to go and find them or to risk exposing something that you don't want exposed, like that person having a better argument than you're saying, or your fans going to that person's stream. It's just kind of like this like no free clout policy, basically. It's a pretty common way. Like if there's like a guy with 100 followers on Twitter and he starts shitting on me, right? I'm not going to go through and dig through every single guy gossiping about me or trying to attack me or whatever. Because like you don't want to give like attention to those types of people. That's basically Hassan's approach to me.
Yeah, that's kind of how he's acted with right. So that's why I was kind of surprised he debated me, or like
so
to debate me.
obviously everything I say could be tainted and it could be biased because I just don't like him or I'm jealous or blah blah blah. So let me give all those normal disclosures. So something that I think has kind of happened to Hassan recently is I think that the viewership and the overall like internet impact that he's had has severely diminished since COVID. Like he was probably at his apex. Was it COVID 2 years ago? Like playing like or 3 years ago when he was playing like with AOC.
Yeah, he was averaging like 40K viewers.
Yeah, like this is like him on top of the world. Okay, but the problem is, even when Hassan's on top of the world, he's still very insulated. He's always like in his fortress. He doesn't go out and aggressively court other fan bases. He's not doing debates. He's not going on other podcasts. He's only doing stuff that he knows is going to give him like very, very, very friendly airtime, and he's very insulated. So I think that something that's happened over the past couple months is here's something that I misunderstood about Hassan. I didn't think Hassan had very many principles. I thought that he was just kind of like only a clout monster. But I realized,
mean, is he not? I mean, I really think.
No, I think he's actually.
What are we talking about?
No, I think he's way more actually like ideologically extremist than I thought, because he's taken like 3 or 4 major L's in a row on some really far left shit that if he was maximizing for clout, he would obviously know to stay away from. Like Hassan shouldn't be within.
What's an example? Before you go on?
Hassan should not be within 1,000 miles of that the Deprogram channel. Right? Are you familiar with what I'm talking? Yeah. There is no reason for him to be there. He has no clout to gain from that. All those guys are insignificant compared to him. All he can possibly do is look bad. Their views are way more extreme than even his normal audience.
Yeah, that was the show where the guy was like the baby settlers.
Yeah, that
right?
JT guy. Yeah. There's that. Hassan didn't need to make arguments about like China invading fucking Tibet. Hassan didn't need to defend staunchly the idea of like re-education camps. Hassan didn't need to talk about like baby settlers. Like all of these things are indicative of somebody that because remember, I thought that Hassan was just maximizing for clout. I didn't realize he was actually this ideologically dug in. So that either changed or I just misunderstood that about him a long time. But yeah, so as he's like he's taken a lot of big hits recently, like hit after hit after hit, where his power level.
Did you see how he covered the like 13-year-old and 15-year-old going and stabbing 3 people?
No, I haven't seen that, but my guess is that's
my new vid.
Like the big thing is he actually managed to nuke one of his only good outreach programs, which was Leftovers. He nuked his show.
Yeah, that's over. Ethan said that's like done.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
So as his audience starts to dwindle, and then as his ideology becomes more extreme,
and he's bleeding tons of followers too over the past month.
Now I think it's gotten to a point to where when I start to make criticisms of him, those are starting to resonate more on wider parts of the internet, because I've grown quite a bit over the past year and a half. So now for the first time, and like it sounds stupid, but like the idea that Hassan, 1, mentions my name is crazy, but 2, is actually showing videos of me on stream means that he's starting to feel a fuck ton of pressure.
Oh, you did see that. I was going to show you this because I figured maybe we'll watch it again because I do want to, I do have some questions along with those clips.
Yeah. But now I think
then-
basically now he's feeling a lot of pressure that he has to respond because like the walls are closing in around him. His fan base is
But
dwindling.
why do you
and
think he
doesn't-
responded to me? Of all people, is it
so-
just because like he thought I was a Nazi or some shit?
No,
Something
no, no, no,
weird?
no. So one thing that Hassan does that's very clever is let's say that I kill a puppy while I'm wearing a clown costume. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say that I do this and everybody's really, really, really mad about me killing the puppy in the clown costume. Okay. Let's say that I look at my chat and everybody starts spamming like, why did you kill this puppy? Why did you kill this puppy? Why did you kill this puppy? And one guy is like, your clown tie looked horrible. Hassan will focus on that one person and he will make it sound like he's responded to the criticism of him killing the puppy in the clown costume by focusing on the one chatter that brought up the color of his tie. And this is Hassan's approach to dealing with all
It
forms
was like
of
picking
criticism.
the most extreme comment. But I mean, what did
Or
I
the-
say that was extreme? How does that apply to
The
me?
softest one, because what you represented was you represented criticism about Hassan's coverage of Israel-Palestine. That's what he saw you as, and he saw you as
Yeah.
potentially an easy target. We're like, oh my God, a commentary YouTuber, I'm going to pull him on, I'm going to beat him over the head with my information about Israel-Palestine, and then I'm going to be vindicated in the eyes of everybody criticizing my coverage of this issue. That's why when you guys were having the conversation, I don't know if you noticed or not, but he said multiple times, like, let's talk about Israel-Palestine. Why don't you tell me what you think about Israel-Palestine? Well, let's talk
Yeah,
about
I
the
felt
history.
like I had to keep recentering it, and it was
Exactly.
it was like I didn't expect him to be like so aggressive out of the gate. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
'cause he's
was
trying
caught
to hold
really
on
off
to-
guard by that. for
Yeah, he's
sure.
trying to hold on to like any W's he can get. And he really wanted you to have that debate about Israel-Palestine with him because now he'd be vindicated. Well, here's one of the guys who said I was wrong about the hospital bombing. This guy doesn't know anything about Israel-Palestine. Fuck this retard. And these are all my critics. He'll say that all the time. All my critics are like this. They're all neo-Nazis. They're all Sam Hyde. They're all this, blah, 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 blah. That was why he picked you and wanted to fight with you.
I see. Well, yeah, because I knew he was going to try and turn it into that. I just didn't. I didn't expect him to be so aggressive. As it went on, I felt like I got more comfortable, but it was really hard to like figure out. How to
Yeah,
keep him
because
on
notice
topic, if that makes
how
sense.
he tried to skirt by all of the substantive criticism on you, and he heard you say one thing that might have been wrong. Remember, it was about him apologizing,
Oh,
and for
dude,
about
it was
5
right,
minutes.
Too. It was like just misunderstanding because he don't watch the video, so it's like fucking.
Yeah, for
was
about
very
5 minutes, he
frustrating.
was like, I didn't apologize. I didn't apologize. I didn't apologize. I didn't apologize. Like, because he wanted to get his one W that he could, etch out. He's
Yeah.
really good at, like, the debate pedophilia, I think was his term, where he's, like, very good
I've
at
never
using,
been-
like, very dirty tactics to try to, like, ease out, like, a win from a conversation. He's actually very good at that, and he does it quite a bit, but he was
Is
trying
that
to do
a
that towards you.
community meme? The debate pedophile.
I'm going to be honest. I've heard this so many times. I just assumed it was for my community. Apparently, Hassan said it first, which is actually really fucking hilariously unhinged.
That is funny.
Yeah, somebody linked it to my server. Like, just so you guys remember, Hassan was the first one that said debate pedophile. I didn't actually know that, but he did. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was. I felt like that was a good meme. I wasn't sure where it was from because when I was first called it, I was like, I don't debate pedophiles, and then I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
like,
here's
he-
the other question I got related.
Yeah.
Oh no, you
I was
can go
gonna
on
say
if you got more.
he started with debate pervert was the thing that he said because Hassan doesn't like to argue with people that he feels like he's going to lose against, so he tries to say all debate is gay. He doesn't like debate, but when he has the opportunity to debate Andrew
Dude,
Tate,
he's
he'll
the
do it.
fucking lamest debater
Yep.
ever, though. He was such an asshole.
Exactly. And when he has a chance to debate you, he's putting out every debate bro tactic. He's blowing you up on Twitter. Oh, this guy's dodging me. Hasn't responded in 30 minutes. Like, oh, he's such a fucking dodger, right? That's like the actual debate pervertry. But yeah, so it's just a thing that he says to, yeah.
All right, this is. What do you think about? Because Dylan Burns agreed with Hassan on this, and I was interested to see another streamer's take. If I make a video on you and then you want to debate me on it, but you don't watch the video, I mean that's some bullshit, right? Like, how do I have to fucking engage with that if you don't even know what the fuck I said? Because the problem is that I have is exactly what happened in our debate, where I'm now having to explain every detail. His audience doesn't understand any context of where I'm coming from. We're getting caught up in the weeds of the argument because he's like, or the language of the
Yeah.
argument.
So this is a
instead of
strategy.
actually knowing what the fucking meat is because he didn't watch it.
Yeah, this is there's a French philosopher. There's a term I borrowed from him called simulacrum. But Vosh does this a lot too, and Hassan does this. Basically, every politics streamer, but me because I'm awesome, does this. When people are trying to summarize or give you an impression of what other people are saying, they never actually watch the original material because they want to take away from you the ability to control the narrative or the rhetoric behind how the facts are presented. So Hasan will never watch a full critical video of him like that on stream unless he's pre-prepared like a notepad or a list of responses. If he thinks it's going to make him look bad, he just won't watch it. He'll say, oh, this guy said this, or this guy said that, Destiny said this, Pepe Ladi said that, Willie said this. But usually they're misquoting you. They're not being charitable. They're not accurately summarizing what you say. And then when you go to argue with them, the fan base is thinking like, oh, I remember when Willie said this, but they don't remember when Willie said this. What they're actually remembering is when Hasan said that Willie said this, and it probably wasn't even accurate in the first place. But yeah, people like Hasan and Vosh do that all the time. They're very critical of other people and their material, but they don't actually show. Do red pillars do it? Maybe they do it. I'm not sure.
Dude, the number one thing Myron and Sneeko were doing to me was like, oh, that's out of context. That's out of context. It's like, bro, you didn't fucking watch it. What do you mean it's out of context? Like, prove it.
Because Myron and
How are you gonna just
Sneeko
claim everything's out of context, dude. When it's like, I didn't do that. Like, you have to prove that. The burden of proof is on you then to prove that I'm doing that.
Yeah, Myron and Sneeko operate on the same no clout foundation where they don't want to give air to what they consider to be
it is
haters.
rage-inducing, dude. It does trigger the shit out of me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So the next question I got for you is, he said something to me along the lines of, oh, you have like these people feeding you notes, like obviously referring to you. Have you done that to people? Have you, like, if somebody goes to debate Hasan, I mean, I don't even know if I've ever seen Hasan debate anybody, but have you like fed notes or whatever?
I've done it. I don't know if I've done it against Hasan, but I've definitely, I've done it to people in the past. Yeah, for sure. Okay. But like when I'm doing it, I'm not like sneaky about it. Usually what's happening is like we're watching it on stream and I'm like typing this, I'm like, fucking bring this up, fucking tell them this shit, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not like, I'm not like
a chatter.
Yeah, I'm not like sneaky or hiding about it. Like my whole chat is saying, yes, the reason why they know is because like I'm doing it on stream. I'm not like hiding anything, obviously. Yeah.
Okay, then have you ever, because the number one...
But like, against Hasan, by the way, I think I did it against Hasan like one time. But it was over like a debate on like gambling or whatever. It wasn't during like a political thing. But Hasan has literally psyched himself out to think that like there is a time period where he wouldn't debate random people. I know Too Mad came up because Hasan thought that...
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Like real quick. Because in the... And before I came on, he was like, oh, he's going to try and ambush me with...
Yeah.
He was essentially referring to you or Sam.
Well,
Sam
Plutonian Shores.
As if I knew any of you two, by the way. I don't know fucking... I have never talked to either of you two, so I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
Like why he thought that of me. But
yeah, he just has. Yeah, he's like super paranoid.
Have you ever Sam Ceder'd him or some shit like
no,
the
I
H3H3?
No, but it's like his worst fucking.
But like
nightmare.
so like the rumor has always been like you did that with Too Mad, and that's why you wouldn't debate Too Mad.
I think Too Mad wanted to. I'm gonna be totally honest. That might have been his plan, but like he messaged me after he started fucking with Hasan, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to do this?" And I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this, but I think where I was at, I don't even know if I had power at the time in my apartment. I think my shit was like fucked. So there was never like a formal plan to like do this shit. Too Mad just mentioned like, oh, this would be funny. I'm like, yeah, maybe, but like I don't even know if I have like a setup to do this right now. Like, yeah. I think the real meme there was I think that Too Mad was getting tweets from some other streamer that he was like fighting with Hasan over, but I don't remember who the other streamer was. Oh, it might have been J-Reg, because Too Mad was like tweeting out fighting with Hasan, and Too Mad was saying a lot of shit. Like, damn, I didn't know he knew this shit about like fucking, like geopolitics or whatever the fuck. But he was getting tweets from somebody else. But that wasn't me. Yeah. So he sort of kind of wanted to rope me into the end, but there was never like an actual formal plan there. Like I don't think at the time I had internet, or I think I was because I just moved to Miami or some weird shit. But I could be wrong on that. But yeah.
Okay, then I would say I don't know, dude, because it's just you got to realize it from like an outsider perspective that doesn't know like you're in Hasan's lore or whatever. It is just weird like how paranoid he is. I don't really get it. Like like only debates I can see of you two, and like this is me actually trying to like look into this a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like an N-word debate, which I don't like. It just seems so fucking stupid. I don't.
Yeah. So the paranoia comes from the fact that my biggest conversion from fans and other fan bases is usually they watch a video of mine one time. Because when they watch something I've said one time, what they realize is, hold on, Vosh or Hasan or Mike from Pierre Denims, they said that Destiny was like a racist, genocidal, evil, pro-Hitler, blah, 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 blah. But I watched like this hour video and he actually seems like pretty reasonable. So for a lot of these people, the biggest fear would be giving me a platform or giving me the chance to like platform an argument or say something, because now they're going to have to confront their fan base that they've misrepresented basically every single thing I've ever said, which which for Hassan and Vosh is true. Hassan's fan base thinks I'm literally like a racist. My family was like a slave owning like Gusano. They call me racial slurs.
It's true from everything I've seen, dude.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But so like obviously Hassan can't ever talk to me because then how is he going to reconcile what I'm actually like in conversations with the monster that he's portrayed me as on a stream for years, right? That can never happen, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose he has like portrayed you as like a Nick Fuentes, like hardcore.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So what? All right, this is something like too. I've also seen from like comments, but it's hard to confirm. Did you make Hassan big, or did the Young Turks make him big?
I mean, it depends on. To answer honestly,
as a streamer, as like
yeah, I understand. I mean, like if I was to answer like Hassan, I would say obviously I made him big. He was nothing before me. Blah blah blah. It's hard to know if he would have become big anyway. Basically, he had a kind of a big thing on the Young Turks Facebook page for some of the stuff he did. He tried to get into streaming, but I think for a few months he didn't really take off much. And then he did a debate with Charlie Kirk, and then he reached out to me, and then he got a huge bump in reaching out to me. But like, I mean, would he have made it without me? Maybe, I don't know. But like, obviously, I helped a ton early on. And if you dig back before, people have made like.
Why did you become like friends with him, or was he always this way, or was he different? Like,
no, I mean, like he was just like a chill dude. I mean, like there's videos of us like hanging out, going drinking. Like he seems like he's like a okay, like chill dude. He's not like a horrible, evil person like in real life.
No, but I was wondering, has he always covered news shitty or what?
Yeah, that was part of what we had early on when we were arguing. Was I argued a couple times. One was about him calling something racist before he even knew who the shooter was, and then the second thing was, yeah, ironic, right? And then the second thing was
classic, dude.
It was about covering breaking news. Yeah, it was
classic.
covering breaking news. Yeah, and then the second thing had to do with a video he made, a hit piece video on Kamala Harris, where he just copied a bunch of talking points from a Twitter thread that weren't really accurate. And then once we had that second big combo,
was it all from Twitter?
Yes, that's where most of his news comes from.
Dude, some things never change, man. I love that.
Yeah,
Hassan's just consistently wrong.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. So why does he? Okay, this might be out of pocket, so I don't know this shit. But like I found a clip of him saying, I mean, somewhat recently, that you made him suicidal.
Yeah, that's just bullshit. He says because like the hate my community gave him, it made him suicidal. But like if you go back before we had our big breakup, there's like plenty of videos and be like, yeah, Destiny's community gave me like a huge leg up. Like I wouldn't have made it without them. Like they're so supportive and blah 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 blah. Like that was what he was saying. But after we split up, obviously now he's gonna be like, Destiny's the worst person ever. His community was made me suicidal. I built all of this on my own. I got the idea to combine gaming and politics and blah blah. So he has to rewrite history obviously to suit his narrative.
Yeah,
you know?
dude. The diggers are evil, bro.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay, have you seen the story where like I don't think you've watched the video by the sound of it, but have you seen where he tweeted about that 13-year-old getting kidnapped by the IDF?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So this happened just this last week or maybe the week before.
Okay.
He tweeted that a 13-year-old got kidnapped by the IDF, and he called them and he was like thrown in jail for no reason, right? He called them like indefensible monsters, all this stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's how it's portrayed.
Yeah.
And of course, all you have to do is look up the kid's name, and that's just not the case at all. Like, he ran around with his cousin, he stabbed 3 people, or 2 people, and tried to stab another, and then got shot. And I guess I'm wondering, why is he willing to wrongly report these stories? Like, surely he knows, right? To a degree, like, it can't all be him just being stupid.
I don't want to like.
Is it really just like pushing lefty ideology?
It's not
for no reason.
Yeah, this isn't a problem unique at all to Hassan. We live. This sounds so cringe to say this, but like in a post-fact world, facts and stories and headlines, these are all just vehicles to sell our ideology. We don't actually, or a lot of people don't actually care about the underlying truth of the matter. So if I see a headline saying, IDF soldier rapes 400 Palestinian virgin, women, like I'm going to retweet that because it sounds true because the IDF are monsters and boom. You don't actually care about the underlying article. You don't care about the underlying facts. That's just everybody when it comes to, especially alternative media these days. Like Tim Pool.
It's everybody. It seems like fucking psycho though to see from the sideline, bro.
It is psycho, but like a lot of people in alternative media run this way. Because remember, in alternative media, we make all of our money. We don't have, some people have sponsors, but not much. And we don't have like, like editors or, managers telling us what to do. We make our money because we tell our fans what they want to hear. And if our fans really want to hear Israel bad, then if I see a story like that, I'm going to tweet it out. Or if they want to hear Palestinians bad, then you just tweet it out. You just like play your narrative and you play your side because that's how they make the money. So, I mean, that's what everybody in alternative media does. Nobody is immune to this. Like, you think if a study came out tomorrow showing that single payer healthcare was the best possible way ever to deliver healthcare, you think Ben Shapiro is going to say that on his podcast, right?
But what does Ben Shapiro have to gain from fucking healthcare? I mean, I don't get it.
Because his base wants to hear socialized healthcare bad, big government bad, because he's a conservative pundit. So every story that he gives has to come from that angle. And for Hassan, he's a tanky. Every story has to come from the angle of West bad, America bad, everybody that's not America good. That's why he defended Putin early on and said the Ukrainian invasion wasn't happening. That's why he defended China invading Tibet. That's why he defends the Palestinians over the Israelis. Like, that's why he says that Venezuela and Bolivia have never had economic or election problems. Like, it all is like very predictable when you understand where they're generating it from, which is America bad.
I mean, it just blows my mind that his audience is watching him be like consistently wrong on shit, because all he watches is like these super like he watches this, like, all right, he says all Western media is super biased. Like, sure, I'll give him that. I don't fucking know, right?
And then he listens to Russia
But
Today.
then he's only looking at like
Or Al
these
Jazeera,
super
or-
biased like Middle Eastern like news sources, or like these like weird tweets where he's like looking at like QNN, which is straight up related to Hamas. It's like Hamas news,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I don't fucking get how his audience is. I don't know. I guess
I'm
the
sorry, not
politics
Tibet,
shit is hard
Taiwan.
for me to relate
My
to.
bad.
I don't
Not
know.
Tibet, Taiwan. No, I thought he was making excuses for Tibet in the or Tibet as well in the past.
Yeah, he was. He was saying that they were all like slave owning monsters.
Yeah, they were
so
horrible people,
okay
and
for-
yeah.
to
Or
do
maybe he
that.
said Tibet and Taiwan. He might have said
Yeah,
both,
he
actually.
justified both
Yeah.
invasions. If that's
Yeah.
what you said.
The audience doesn't know or care about the underlying facts as well. There's also, in a lot of these communities, and you'll notice this, you should pay attention to this, in a lot of these communities, there's a lot of epistemic poisoning as well, meaning it's
What's
not
that
just enough, epistemology is like the study of knowledge or truth, broadly speaking, in psychology. Epistemic is like ways that we arrive at truth, or how we determine or discern what's truthful or not. When I say epistemic poisoning, what I mean is it's not enough to just say, for instance, like vaccines are bad. When data comes out that disagrees with you, if you don't want to conform to the data, you've got to say the sources are bad too. If you argue with conservatives that are anti-vaxxers, you'll also notice that they don't trust the CDC. They don't trust any pharmaceutical company, and oftentimes they don't trust academic institutions. Hassan is the same way in that if a report comes out, he doesn't trust the IDF or Israel's reports. He doesn't trust the U.S. State Department, and he won't trust a lot of people in the West. But surprisingly, they will trust.
He is like a COVID denier, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
just
No, it's
like
the same.
that.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have to epistemically attack all of the sources of truth that'll disagree with you, and then the only ones that you validate or verify. He'll say things like, "I can't trust the United States State Department on easily verifiable information, but I can trust Hamas."
Yeah,
Like,
he sees like Russia building bridges to invade Ukraine. He's like, this can't be real.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. All right, so let's say you get something wrong, right? I'm sure in your career you've gotten some geopolitical shit wrong, right?
No. Yeah.
What,
I'm just kidding.
what do you do to like what is a way for him to I guess what have you done to like correct that or move on? Like, have you just owned it or what? Like, is it just a him thing, or does Vosh do the same shit? Do you do the same shit?
The
Do you,
ways that
weirdly
I
double
try.
down and try and justify, like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like in the heat of the moment, nobody will change their mind. Like, I'll double down on shit that I'm probably wrong
Sure,
about.
sure, but let's say
Sure.
2 days pass, a week pass, whatever.
So here's the difference, okay? Here are a couple things that I try to do that I feel are unique to politics streamers. Is one, I try to read a lot. Not just headlines and not just Twitter, but I'll try to do like a decent amount of research. At the very least, I'll read a full article, I'll read profiles, I'll read papers on the Israel-Palestine stuff. I'm reading tons of different wiki entries. I'm reading excerpts from books. I'm reading and watching like documentaries and shit. Like, we're doing a lot of like actual research. For most of the politics streamers, even though they'll say like, oh, well, I talk to historians and blah, 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 they're not talking about history. They're just bringing a person on for their opinion. So one is I try to do a lot more reading or research, okay? Which doesn't make me immune. Obviously, I can be blah, blah, blah. The second thing I try to do is when I'm talking about a thing or another streamer, I always try to show full clips. I'm never watching a 20-second clip of Hassan and going like, oh, I knew he was a fucking horrible person. I'll usually be like, well, what's the video this is from, or where is this, blah, 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 and I'll watch like long-form stuff and review it. But the way that they try to get around it is they say, oh, Steven's obsessed with me. Why did he do a 3-hour stream on me? And usually it's because, well, I want to cover everything you said. I don't want to just like take a clip.
Insane, dude.
Yeah. And then another thing that helps me a lot, that's a little bit unique to me, and I say this and everybody says this, but I'm the only one that actually means it. I truly don't have like a political affiliation. If Democrats start doing dumb shit, I'll say that Democrats are doing dumb shit. If conservatives, I start to agree with them, I'll be like, oh, I kind of agree with Ben Shapiro. I have no problem saying that. With a lot of these guys, the way that they grow their political platforms is by first aligning hardcore with a political ideology, and then they grow their fan base that way. So what that means is you suffer a lot of audience capture. When my audience watches me, they just expect me to give my take on the news. If
What
I go
is
watch
audience capture? What do you mean by that?
audience capture means that you feel feel a pressure to deliver the type of content that your audience watches and that might start to misalign with what you actually believe. Hasan will never go on stream and defend the actions of the US State Department or change his opinion on Israel-Palestine or anything in the Cold War because he can't. His fan base expects, like, when you go to watch Hasan's stream, you don't go to watch for Hasan's opinion on the news. You go to watch for what is the progressive opinion on the news, right? Nobody goes to see, Hasan's like giving a unique original take on anything.
He like plays team sports.
Exactly, yeah. So there's benefits and cons. The benefit is that you get to grow an audience much easier because now you're in an established area, you've got good talking points, blah, 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 blah. But then the con is you have very little flexibility if you start to get stuff wrong or if your political movement starts to get stuff wrong. Progressives have been kind of fucking crazy over the past few years. It's really easy for me to back away from that and go like, oh, they've been kind of crazy. Hasan can't back away from far lefties or tankies because that's who he's like throwing his lot in.
Is he just gonna, like, what's he think's gonna happen though? What, he just loses followers or some shit?
I don't know, actually. I'm not
like,
sure.
I don't fucking. It's just weird to understand because the whole point of doing like being like a YouTuber, like a Twitch streamer, is that you can just be you. You don't have to fucking work for anybody. But I don't know. The politics side is weird. I'm still dipping my toes in it a bit.
It's dumb. Yeah.
What's his? Oh yeah. Okay. So did you see his coverage of the Pokemon stuff?
Not much, no. But I think
Dude,
I probably
it was
agreed.
The best,
I probably agreed with him though. I think the cookie thing is fucking stupid, or I don't know, but I just see what else he said.
Hold on, bro. There is something funny about him getting up, leaving the Charlie video, explaining what's going on and why people might be frustrated with Pokemon, and then him coming back and being like, "Yeah, it's just because she's a woman." It's something so, like, dude, it's hilarious. Here, have you seen this clip? This describes it perfectly, bro. Brandon Buckingham clipped this from my vid.
Oh god, this guy's a little insane, but let's see.
Really, Brandon's cool, man.
He started like he got obsessed with Sneeko to an unhealthy amount. Like,
look,
to be fair, Sneeko also kind of slandered him,
but
no, we don't have to. Sneeko also kind of slandered him and said that he wanted to rape his fucking girlfriend or whatever, which is crazy. Yeah, that was wild. But Brandon, at some point, no offense to that guy, he was like sending me pages and pages of it, and I'm like, bro, I don't even know you. You're having a moment.
Stuff.
He was sending me like pages of DMs. Yeah, I was like, bro, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do with any of this.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you Sneeko's representative? I have no fucking
No,
clue.
I think he was like having a
Yeah, I think. Look, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, no, yeah, we don't have to. I'm sorry. I'll watch this. Hold on one sec.
That's not what happened.
Then what happened?
I don't even know what happened, but I know that's not what happened.
Cool. On the ground journalist Hasan Piker at work.
Okay.
Dude, isn't that a classic clip, dude? That's some classic Hasanabi on the ground journalism, bro.
Yeah. Listen, you're just mad because you're not on the ground like he is, okay?
Hey, dude, he's on the ground of his like fucking LA mansion, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right, give me one. Let me see what the fuck else I got here. I don't know. What do you think? So he calls everyone a drama farmer, right? Like he calls you that, and I know that's like known as like a big own. Like I believe he called Vosh that too. Even though Vosh said like 2 words to him after the Ukraine
One of the
thing.
things that happens a lot in my corner of the internet, probably not with you guys as much, I think, because you're like commentary people. One thing that happens in my corner is people try to run with this obsessed argument a lot to try to make it so people won't cover them. So like a lot of the times, let's say Hasan says something crazy and then I cover it, he'll be like, why are you obsessed with me, bro? Why are you so obsessed with me, bro? Why are you obsessed with me, bro? And the point of that argument is to try to diffuse criticism by making it so I don't have to engage with this criticism and you shouldn't even watch it. And it's weird that he's even criticizing me, right? When the reality is, well, hold on, bro. You're the largest politics streamer on the internet right now. Why would I not criticize you when you say retarded shit, right? If you cover a Ben Shapiro video, nobody's calling you obsessed. If you cover like the 50th Trump statement, no one's calling you obsessed, right?
Well, he covers basic YouTube drama too all the time.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But like there's the whole like drama farmer obsessed thing is to just try to say like this person doesn't have real criticism. They're just trying to like farm drama. Fuck them.
Yeah, that was kind of like a big advantage being a commentary channel because he did try to hit me with that, but it just like doesn't work because it's like, yeah, dude, I'm farming you. Like that's fucking embarrassing. I will farm the shit out of you every day, dude. You're a lolcow. You know? It's like fucking, oh, you're into drama? It's like, yes, dude. I will milk you for everything you're worth. Keep being stupid, please.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just I don't understand that argument because it's if you're getting farmed, you're kind of like self-reporting.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, that's in my world, those arguments don't work. People just like, bro, why are you so obsessed? Like, don't do this. Yeah.
Did you see Hasan's 2 clips talking about you?
No, I haven't watched them yet. I got linked them, but I was about to watch them, yeah.
I was gonna say I could show you them, or if you have them, let's watch this.
Okay, hold on. Wait 1 second.
Because when was the last time he said your name on stream? Everyone was saying this was a big deal when I posted my video.
It's been years, yeah. He usually uses nicknames to refer to me like Voldemort. So instead of like he who must not be
He
named, he'll
calls
call me
you
like
Voldemort.
no, he'll call me like Pepe La D or other nicknames, like or Gusano or Cubans or Wikipedia readers or debate streamers. He always like refers to me.
I
in,
love
like,
how
some-
petty he is, bro. I kind of dig that.
Yeah. Well, but it's good because it keeps his audience not knowing who I am exactly. So it's not like they're all gonna go check me out. So he's again the no free clout thing, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
This clip is fucking rage-inducing, dude. And it's not this clip. It's this clip with the next clip is rage-inducing.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. I gotta respond. Jesus Christ. 1 second. Okay. I'm
What are we
watching
waiting
this
for?
one on my. I've got people chatting at me. That's what we're waiting for. Okay. Ready? I'm going.
Every time I see clips of Destiny, it's always like very confident, but also confidently unsure. But because he's like channeling State Department propaganda, it oftentimes is just left unnoticed. Like people don't look at it and go, "Wait, what do you mean? You're not really sure?" Okay, well, how about you get sure? Like you could,
Yeah. Just get sure on some of the most complicated like international conflict. Okay.
you could
Just
look it
get
up.
sure, bro. Just get
Hold
sure
on. Yeah.
on
Wait.
this
Let me
stuff.
finish.
And he always invokes plausible deniability so that people can turn around and go, yeah, well, he said he was not necessarily sure.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing. One thing that I notice, and this might just be in my community, sometimes I'll get hit with really weird things where I'm like, in any other community, people would make fun of you for insulting somebody on this. So this would be an example of that. Why would you ever like couch your opinion in caution if you aren't sure of something, bro? Just be 100% sure. Like that's such a stupid, that's such
That
a
is
weird
literally what he's
criticism.
getting criticized for, bro. He's getting criticized for
Yeah.
being way too confident.
Also,
Like,
wait,
bro,
hold
be-
on. Somebody said there's a second clip. 1 second.
Dude, the second clip is fucking just the most triggering, most unself-aware shit I've ever seen.
I think
in
I
my
have
life.
the exact opposite problem where I am
Oh no. He's not-
grossly aware of the lack of knowledge that I have on a particular matter because there's so much.
Does this make you
Always,
fucking
there's so
rage?
much more to learn.
When does Hassan do any learning though, guys? He streams for 10 hours a day. He does zero research on anything, and he's not spending any other like when is he learning? Where is the Hassan learning time? When does he have time for that?
So I don't have that
He
same
doesn't,
level
dude.
of
He's talking to
confidence.
these forensic experts apparently that are two follower accounts, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it is the most. I don't know, man. That clip makes me so fucking angry, dude.
Okay, wait, let me finish watching this. Jesus.
And then I think that makes people think that I am oblivious to the reality or something. Especially when someone that comes across more confident.
I also hate this because Hassan stole this talking point from me. He's saying I come across
A
more
more
confident,
skilled orator.
but he literally just said that I don't come across as confident because I'm confidently unsure because I say that I'm not sure, right? One of the big issues that I notice when I debate people, I'm talking half to you, half of my audience, is sometimes I'll get cucked by people that don't know what they're talking about, but they're fully willing to say, oh, have you seen the latest literature on this? It actually proves my point 100%. And maybe I haven't. Like, oh, I'm not sure. Even though I'm pretty sure they're incorrect, I'm pretty sure they're wrong and
It
making
was
it
like
up.
him lying to me in the debate, dude.
Exactly,
Saying
yeah.
the BBC
When-
said this when that's not what they
Exactly.
said.
Yeah. When other people are confidently asserting things that they don't know, and I'm a little bit more cautious, I'm like, I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. I end up looking like the weak person there, even if ultimately they're incorrect. I've tried to find other ways around this. Like one of the things I've said is, well, I'm pretty sure if everybody looks this up right now, you're probably not right. Or when I go home and I look this up, it's probably going to be the exact opposite of what you're saying. So I'm not going to agree. And 99% of the time, it usually is. 99% usually is. When I look stuff up that people have brought up, and I go home and I look at it, I'm like, oh, it was the exact opposite of what he said. Or oh yeah. But it's hard. It's hard to counter that in the heat of the moment when somebody's willing to just confidently assert shit and you don't know if they have an idea what they're talking about.
I just don't know what the point of having a debate is if you're just willing to lie. So
I
fucking
know. Yeah. Let me do 34 more seconds. Let me listen to the rest of this. Hold on.
Obvious to the reality or something. Especially when someone that comes across more confident, that is a more skilled orator, can come in and just say, I'm right, and you're owned.
I'm right in your own. Keep in mind, Hassan was doing this the entire time over like the hospital bombing, but okay. Sorry.
Yeah, or stuff like this, like lacking knowledge about JDAMs and such, like things of that nature.
He didn't do that. Okay, hold on. Ignore everything that I just said. Okay.
Don't you just want to fucking slam their desk, dude?
He's
I can't
trolling.
do it.
Hassan is a master troll. He knows he's trolling. He's
He's
gonna cash out
not,
soon.
bro. He's serious.
He's gonna.
this
He's trolling.
unaware, bro.
In a month, he's gonna be like, "Really, guys? The JDam shit didn't give it away. Thanks for the cash. I'm done streaming. Thanks for the mansion. Peace out." That's what he's gonna say.
Are
I
there's
wish,
only
dude. I become a fan.
the only instances where people can be like, well,
I
there was
become
a
a
clip of you
Hassan fan
saying this is
instantly during
definitely.
it. I just feel like it's weird because it's like, how is it? I feel like the smartest people I've ever met in real life are people that are willing to go like, oh, I don't know, I got to look more into that.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
people
so
that like can
insane
admit the
that-
limits of their knowledge. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so insane. Like, or like for instance, I worked for like a photography company. If you talk to any of the like new hires that were like right out of college, they would all be like, oh no, I know like everything about photography. I got everything done. If you ask like any of the vets, they'd be like, I know like 60%, maybe. Right? It's like only the fucking like people that know the least act like they know the most.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Mount Bullshit. When somebody learns a little bit about a thing and they're really confident about it, and then as you
Yeah.
learn more, you kind of couch your opinion a little bit more carefully. Yeah.
Well, dude, I think that's pretty much everything. That's all kind of like the loose ends I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Oh,
I love you.
I
buddy.
appreciate
Keep
the
in mind
time.
that a lot of the stuff that I'm saying here about Hassan and everything here is, one, this is just my perspective. Other people might disagree. And two, this is not, very few things here are unique to Hassan. A lot of alternative media influencers like Tim Pool and other people like that, Steven Crowder, they all do these similar types of tactics. So they all operate in a similar type of way.
Are they as blatantly wrong as him though about all this shit?
Blatantly
Because he's like been wrong like on every major issue for the past like year and a half.
Probably. But
Okay.
I think it's hard because, like, for the conservatives, no, hold on. They have. Conservatives tend to focus on culture war issues more, so it's hard to know if they're, like, blatantly
Like what,
wrong.
like
'cause it-
trans stuff?
Yeah,
Or what do
exactly.
you mean?
But when I think about them making concrete claims, right, Matt Walsh made a whole documentary on how horrible trans shit was, right? What is a woman? You remember this?
I have no clue who Matt Walsh is.
Okay, he's a big Daily Wire guy. He made a whole documentary about how trans shit was like ruining studies. Okay, whole documentary, okay? Whole hour and a half film on this, okay? When he went on Joe Rogan asked him, how many kids do you think are like on hormone therapy for trans stuff? And Matt Walsh's guess was probably millions. And the answer was like, I think it was
Probably
like
millions?
Yeah, the answer was like 5,000 over like 3 years or something. I don't remember. Yeah, he was off by like 4 orders of magnitude. That type
pretty
of
crazy.
yeah, that's an unbelievable fuck up, right? Imagine
Yeah.
you're doing you do a documentary on spaceships and somebody asks you like, you know, is Armageddon a
Matt Walsh
documentary or
is a
something?
big guy, you're saying, huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of the big, large content people on the Daily Wire.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you go back, I don't know where you stand on this. I don't want to do a political debate, but like, obviously, in my opinion, everything that was said about vaccines, everything that was said about the alternative medications,
Yeah,
like
they were all fucking wrong
ivermectin,
on that
all of
shit.
that was completely wrong and proven wrong. Even though they made documentaries about like died suddenly and all this shit, every single thing that all the conspiracy theorists had said and all the conservative blocks and all the far right places on the internet about how vaccines were going to cause mass deaths, mass sterilizations, mass health epidemics, all of that was proven wrong. All of them are silent on it. None of them will say anything
Yeah.
about it. They were all 100% wrong. So yeah, so I mean, like, they get it wrong too, right? And confidently
Yeah, with
wrong,
that-
and they won't
with-
even acknowledge the mistakes. They just move on to the next thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, with that stuff, whenever I looked into it, like, I'd be like, oh, that, like, because to me, that's fucking super interesting, right? If, like, oh, wow, they lied about a whole vaccine or whatever. Whenever I'd look into the actual papers of, like, people responding, it'd be like, it seemed always legit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do you think of, what do you think of Sneeko, like, becoming a flat earther?
I don't follow any of his stuff. I think Sneeko, you have to treat like Hassan treats people, no free clout. Sneeko's whole vibe now, I don't even think his fights are real. Like remember when he smoked in Bradley Martin's gym or whatever? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that
I don't
seemed fake.
Yeah, I don't think any of that stuff is real. I think he's like just pearly things where he says stupid shit to just rile people up to get on a watch. I don't think he
I
believes.
feel like Sneeko is real, though. Like, you don't think he's actually, like, trying to be, like, I
Bro,
feel like,
this
all right,
guy
he's not...
like just posted pictures of him at fucking Mecca with like tattoos, okay? And then like the next day he's like doing hot tub streams with 3 OnlyFans girls. Like, no, this guy is not real about anything. Come on, obviously.
So do you think it's all like clout, huh?
Yes,
clout chasing
clout
shit?
slash grift slash young and dumb slash yeah, of course, is like super grifto. Yeah. I don't think it was
Okay.
always like that, but I think over the past like couple years, probably especially once he got banned from YouTube and started to spiral hard, it's been like a super grift. Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think that's it, dude. I appreciate the convo.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Dude, you don't delete your streams, do you? In case I
I would pull it right now because sometimes stuff gets like copywritten or whatever, and it'll get like blocked. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, appreciate it, Destiny. Take it easy, man.
Yeah, I love you. Be careful, bud.
Yeah, love you too, babe.
Bye.
Oh, real quick. And you could just PayPal me the 10K for all those videos. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, no problem. Okay. Have you seen / commented on Northern Lions observation? If it's what I think it is, I watched some of this. Now, I don't want to do the whole, like, I own every thought that's ever been thought, obviously, because that would be really arrogant. Wait, what was the rest of this clip?
A JDAM, like the audio signature looks like a JDAM, so that must be the only thing you've said about the matter.
Well, he also was confident that that hospital got bombed. He was also by Israel. He was also confident that the invasion wasn't going to happen in Ukraine. He was also, did he say Bernie would win? He was probably one of those people. I don't know. Yeah. Play the speculation clip. He's never confident. He's always cautious. Yeah. Here is Hassan being cautious. This is what Hassan means when he says he's super cautious about everything. Okay.
If I make a prediction or a speculation, it can sometimes be wrong. IDF didn't bomb the hospital? Yes, it did. Yes, it fucking did. You fucking piece of shit. Yes, it absolutely did. Fuck you. Fuck you. Genocidal scumbag. You have no fucking dignity. You do not have an ounce of dignity inside of your soul. You fucking piece of shit. You garbage, monstrous scumbag. You garbage, monstrous scumbag. Why did you fucking lie? How can you live with yourself, you genocidal piece of shit?
I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. What is this? Are we really, guys? We're not doing the whole. God damn it! What is this?
The debate pedophiles are out in droves.
He was the one that said this. The debate pedophile. Why would he do this? Where did this come from?
The debate pedophiles are out.
Oh, and even better, it's over this fucking JDAM parking lot shit. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. What a legend. All right. Let's be more serious for a moment. 1 second. Let's be more serious for a moment. We've got a rapeusation. Wow. Before I get into everything, I just want to say that I am still very new to all of this. I don't know who I can trust, who I can tell things to, who I can be myself around, who I can allow in my private life. I also want to say I never want to be the person who can't be involved in things or around others simply because I run my mouth or expose people. I pride myself in being a good person and being as true to myself as possible. For those of you who have confided in me and trusted me with sensitive information, please do not feel as if this tweet puts you at the risk of being twit-longered or that you cannot trust me. Oh, I feel so much at ease now. I've done a lot of bad things in my past and I've hurt a lot of people, and I'm trying my best to make up for it. That being said, I'm posting this in the hopes that people can be held accountable for their shitty behavior and be better men, better people. I want to say a few very important things right off the bat. 1, both parties involved were consenting adults. 2, I was under the influence of alcohol. I'm a lightweight and get drunk very easily. 3, I do not believe that being under the influence of alcohol means you cannot consent. And 4, I'm sober and my head is clear while writing this. Okay, well then why the fuck are we writing anything at all? That's kind of weird, but okay. I feel like I'm about to read something really stupid, but... When I visited Montreal, my reason for being there was to meet my Counter-Strike 2 clan as well as another female creator. While being there, Persec randomly reached out to me and asked how long I would be there and if I would be open to hanging out. I didn't know who he was, only that he was involved with some drama about getting paid for work and that he had tweeted me to form an alliance. At that time, the tweet was very confusing, and I remember not understanding why he would tweet that to me. After agreeing to hang out, I told him that I would be having dinner and that he was more than welcome to meet me at the restaurant, and then we could figure it all out as the night went on. Persec arrived, we had one drink at the restaurant and spent time talking about ourselves, doing the whole getting to know you thing. After the fact, we went to my Airbnb so I could change into something more comfortable and proceeded to go bar hopping. At the last bar we went to, that was when the alcohol began to kick in and my inhibitions lowered. Against my better judgment, I invited him back to my Airbnb to watch a movie. While watching the movie, he initiated conversations about XQC. He revealed a lot of sensitive information about him, as well as showing me photos he snuck of him while XQC was unaware of photos being taken of him. In addition to those things, he incessantly bragged about the perks of being friends with him, i.e. getting a streamer backpack and not having to pay for it. Where is Felix at? Where the fuck is my free streamer backpack? Fucking loser. I am not friends with Felix anymore, by the way. Getting a streamer backpack and not having to pay for it. Things of that nature. What did he get? Did he get Twitch stickers for free too? Christ. Being that I was drunk and honestly excited that I was going to have sex for the first time in forever, I just acted interested and hoped he would make a move. Eventually, moves were made and it happened. Everything that happened afterward is something that I haven't really been able to get over. After finishing, Persec proceeded to tell me that he came in me, and he then proceeded to lie and say I told him to do so, which is false. I am very aware that it was a consensual choice to have unprotected sex, but who in their right mind is nutting in a woman they just met? What makes it even more upsetting is that while he offered to buy a plan B, he never did. After the fact, we laid in bed and obviously things were awkward. I was extremely uncomfortable, but my toxic trait is ignoring my own wants and feelings to make sure those around me are comfortable and not upset. Hey, real talk, guys, I just want to give you a super, super, super big heads up. Super big heads up, you haven't figured this out yet. Anytime, always, without fail, when people tell you, my biggest problem is I'm a people pleaser, I do so many things for other people. These people, I have met them in my life. They are always the biggest energy vampires ever. They are never these types of people. They are never like this. And I've met people that do have this toxic trait, that are people pleasers, and they never say it. They usually just blame themselves when things go wrong, and they usually just are like, fuck, I don't know why everyone's fucking me over. I feel like no people are good friends to me, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's usually these types of people that have a lot of self-doubt or whatever. But these people like Merc, who are vampires, who take, and want, and do very little, if anything, for other people. Very rarely when people are saying this, my toxic trait is that I ignore my own wants and feelings. It's almost never true. Just as a heads up, in case you haven't figured it out yet. Another big red flag is when someone calls themselves an empath, okay? That's almost never true. I spent the rest of the night reassuring him that it was okay and that I wasn't mad. It was my fault for lying and not being honest. We fell asleep, and the next day I prepared for my flight back home. After returning home, I felt extremely sick about the whole situation. Regardless of my looks or behavior on the internet, ultimately I am very hard on myself when I make decisions that go against my character, i.e. having a one-night stand with someone. It made it even worse when he finished in me, and I had to worry about that. Okay. Even though he did all those things, I made the decision to keep him around simply because I was lonely and he gave me attention when no one else would. Well, he didn't do all those things. You did them together, to be clear, right? We would play Valorant together or have Discord calls to where he would continuously brag. Okay, so a lot of people are bringing up that I said a while ago that I was highly empathetic, so I must be a liar too. Listen, you can look at my public record with how I treat people, with how I pay people, with how I engage with employees, with how I engage with other content creators, with how I put other streamers on my streams, with the number of careers that I've made, with the number of people that I've hosted and helped and have spawned side careers off of. Listen, if you think that I'm this type of person, then that's fine. Think what you want. I don't give a fuck, okay? But, if you want to make the comparison, I'll guess about. I don't care. Think about what you want to think, okay? I think I have a track record to back up when I say shit. But, hey, maybe not. We would play Valorant together or have Discord calls to where he would continuously brag about his relationship with XQC, once again, talk shit about the people who didn't get paid for their work, and even go as far as to imply that he would see if XQC would fly him out to Vegas for the F1 event, being that he just turned 21. I want to add that every time we talked, I was extremely high, so my decision-making was probably not the best, and I take full accountability for that, okay? The last time we had contact on Discord was after an intimate conversation and me admitting I had a crush on him. Again, I am aware I am brain dead, but that I could not be with him due to his age, his height, and the fact that I was seeing some telltale signs of unhealthy infatuation due to sexual contact. Okay. After that, the contact dwindled and he began ignoring me and not responding to my messages. I spoke to someone unrelated to the situation who confirmed everything I was worried about in the beginning. I tried to ignore what I heard from other people about Persec, and I was being naive and believing that everything everyone said was unfounded. The more others told me, the more I realized his behavior was in fact unacceptable, and that he's in fact a shitty person, for lack of a better term. What has he done so far that's been shitty? Other than like overhype his relationship with XQC, I guess. What did he do? What I want people to take away from this is the following. I'm very aware that this seems like I'm just molding because I'm unhappy with being treated like a one-night stand. Treated like a one-night stand. It could not be further from the truth. Persec's behavior is extremely disgusting, and I didn't deserve being treated the way I did, especially when it comes to the invasive act of being came in without my consent. I really don't like... and I've seen people, even people that I know personally, throw around this fucking consent word over and over again to like imply rape. It's super gross. Like, I didn't wait, hold on. Jesus. This is like it's like a personal friend. You don't even, there's nothing here that would be even interesting to you. Sorry. I shouldn't have said Jesus. Like, when somebody's putting their dick, okay, inside of your vagina, and then it's going out and in over and over and over and over and over again, that's like, you're gonna come. That's what that means. That's what's happening. That's the road that you're down, okay? That's the road that you're heading down. So, like, it reminds me, I don't know if you've ever been on like Pornhub or like XHamster or any of the, or YouPorn or whatever, and you read a title and it's like, guy surprisingly comes in woman's vagina or mouth or whatever, and I'll click the video, and the video is him fucking a woman or him getting a blowjob. I'm like, well, what's surprising about this? It's like, that's what happens when you do these things. It's, yes, they orgasm. Like, obviously it's a premature ejac fetish or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's funny. Yeah, like, he came in without my consent. Bro, if he was fucking without a rubber, I mean, like, yeah, this is stupid. But furthermore, the idea that you can freely perpetuate private information and trust it to you by others is extremely disrespectful and one of the most disgusting things you can do in the industry, no matter how much you trust the other person. If it is not your information, do not share it, especially if the person telling you things is already struggling with finding genuine, trusting people. It's not his job to babysit your shit, but okay. If I was like any other person on the internet, I could easily take the information I know and use it to my advantage. Leaking can ruin a person's confidence, image, or their career. I mean, that's essentially what you're trying to do to this guy, right? That is what's going on here. I tried my best to get over this privately with people I consider friends, but after finding out even more about Persec and his behavior, seeing absolutely no remorse and seeing it affect my own mental health, I'm taking this opportunity to clear my conscience. And doing this, I hope that public embarrassment will teach others responsibility when having casual sex, take confidentiality seriously, and that humility, although rare, is always a better option. And just be clear, there will be no baby Persec running around. This is an unbelievably crazy statement. So she's just trying to like blow a guy up because she's mad that, I guess he didn't love her or something? I'm not even sure. Let's see. We got tweets by Persec. I had sex with her in Montreal and I accidentally busted her bra. What do you want me to say, LeMayo? Read her follow-up tweet. Hold on. I don't know what the follow-up tweet is. Where? Let's see. OME5. I don't know what that. I don't know what OME5 means. Can you text me later when you end your stream? You called me at 3 a.m. when I was sleeping, then blocked me everywhere. I don't think I did. Oh, Merc did this to me too a lot. That's why I stopped responding to her. It's because she would call me at like really weird times, and then she would like delete her messages and sometimes would remove me. The last time she did, I just didn't add her again, or when she tried to add me, I just ignored it. Yeah. This is OME5. Oh, it's an emote? Okay. You hurt my feelings and you lied about everything. And I look fucking stupid. I should have never slept with you. She said, he said, that's an okay regret to have off about that. But what the fuck did I lie about? I didn't make you look like anything. I haven't mentioned our interactions to anyone. I liked you. It doesn't matter, whatever, bye. I'm just so fucking confused. Can you elaborate? Bro, you texted me in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, then blocked me on everything when I didn't pick up. I never lied about literally anything, and I never made you look stupid. Oh, because you weren't asleep. Oh, so she was obsessed with him. I needed you, and then doesn't matter. I promised I was sleeping. I woke up to it the next day. Oh, and he posts a sleep chart. No, my phone fucked up. Enjoy your sleep. There's nothing to twit longer. Yeah, Jesus. Okay.
I may have said, hey, like, yes, and indeed it does. And I may have said, hey, like, spit in my mouth, come in me type shit. And I guess he took me seriously, and he did it.
Came out.
And then he's like, yeah, I came in you. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, well, yeah, you said it. I was like, well, I didn't mean actually come in me. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, Merc, isn't Merc 28 and the guy was like 20? I mean, like, bro, you're the adult here. Somebody said, somebody messaged me and said, Destiny, somebody said, Destiny, that's dumb as fuck. People all the time have sex and don't expect you to nut in them. That's something you usually have to talk about beforehand. It's like a guy sticking his thumb in a girl's ass and not asking beforehand. You can't just be like, these things happen when you're fucking. I guess I'm wondering, where is the line when it comes to things just being acceptable, even though it wasn't necessarily talked about beforehand? I'm not in back and forth mode or debate mode. I'm just gonna tell you. If you start having sex with somebody and you're both unprotected and they're fucking you, unless you have an explicit conversation about them coming in you, that's probably where things are headed. They should ask you. They should stop. They should figure it out, if for no other reason, for their own protection. But if somebody is fucking you unprotected and you're vulnerable, bro, why wouldn't you say something? Like, hey, how are we ending this? Okay, because sex generally ends with at least one party orgasming, and that party is usually the man. Yeah, obviously you should have the conversation, but why would you rely on somebody to do that? That would be a thing you would talk about. That's Jesus. Can you clarify why they feel they should be on the internet? I don't know, because Merc is unhinged. She just puts everything in there. She's probably looking for just validation, sympathy. It's why everybody leaks shit. TLDR to my last tweet. My loyalty lies with XQC, and I hope that in coming out with this, he can clean up camp. I also will use this as a lesson to hold myself accountable, treat myself better. Holy shit, it feels so good to get that off my shit. Yeah, like I said, she's looking for validation or yes queens and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. I agree that you need to expect that cum might get into you and she's unhinged overall, but saying you'll pull out, then pretend she said you could come in her is kind of scummy. I'm sorry, wait. Did they agree that he was going to pull out? Did that happen? I didn't hear that. I didn't say that in Merc's story. Was that in Merc's story? I split the VOD. Did you see Tree of Logic's unhinged stream about Alex? No, I have not.
You okay back there?
Yeah, fine.
Not too hot. Long day, sir?
Let me ask you something.
Shoot.
Did I do anything at all to suggest I was curious about the sound of your voice? No, right? So shut the fuck up.
Jesus.
You okay back there?
Okay. Destiny, is expected that even if you're fucking raw, you should pull out. That's the standard. Coming inside is something you discuss. If you don't discuss anything, pulling out is expected. I disagree. I don't think that's the case. That hasn't been my experience with the majority of women that I've fucked. If a woman is on top of me, well, maybe it's expected for the guy, but I'll have a woman 9 times out of 10, she'll be riding me or I'll be fucking her, and I'm usually the one that has to stop. Or she'll be going, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna come soon. Kid, let's talk about some shit, like what's going on or whatever. And then she'll be like, oh, like blah blah blah, like just come at me, it'll be okay. That's 9 times out of 10, usually women are just like fucking going for it. And this is something that's blown my mind. I don't know when this became normal or whatever. A lot of women I've been with are just like, oh, I'll just take a plan B. I'm like, isn't that harsh on your body? Is that really, you're okay with that? I met a lot of women that will say shit like that. I'm like, let's slow down and not do this, okay? Maybe we're making bad decisions right now, okay? Yeah, I would not assume. Also, why would you assume? Why would you assume? Yeah, why would you assume that somebody's gonna pull out when they're fucking you with no birth control? You should have that conversation beforehand, okay? Yeah, you should have that conversation beforehand. Parsec TV, possibly the dude. Oh, I mean, I don't need to talk to him, but. The Willie Mac video, August is hungry for content. Bro, do I really have to watch a fucking video about Hassan? You're gonna make me do this?
Hello, comrade.
Oh, it's 18 minutes. Maybe. Let's watch this first. What's going on here? What is going on here?
Obviously, you know that there's a public perception that, and you're clarifying this now, but there's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
But
go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Well, let me ask you then.
That's how I feel. Don't advertise.
How do you think then about the economics of X? If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
I understand that, but there's a reality too, right?
Yes. No.
I mean, Linda Yaccarino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill.
I know you probably don't care about this, but this fucking vampire has had a platform to spread borderline essay allegations by me. Would love to clear things up if given the chance. Listen, I love you, but I just don't care that much. Nobody on my stream believes Merc. Everybody knows that her statements were fucking wild. I don't know if anybody anywhere on the internet ever believes Merc. Like, nobody cares about what she says. You're fine. Nobody thinks that you're a sexual assaulter. Like, trust me, you're good. You're clean, Chief.
Company.
Carino's right here, and she's got to sell advertising.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
But those advertisers, I imagine, are going to say, we didn't kill the company.
Oh yeah.
They're going to say,
tell it to Earth.
But they're going to say, Elon, that you killed the company because you said these things, and that they were inappropriate things, and that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform, right? That's what they're going to say.
And let's see how Earth responds to that.
Okay.
I don't understand. So here's something I'm actually curious about, because I don't have a deep understanding of like all the underlying financial stuff. What is Elon Musk's exposure ultimately to Twitter going bankrupt? Like, how much money is he actually looking to lose? Because it feels like he's kind of like giving up, or I can never tell. I say that, but I can't tell. Ask Earth. Hold on. He forgot that advertisement runs the world. If he doesn't need the money or care about being a profitable company, he just wants to be a new form of digital free speech, then he's on the right track, I guess. Okay. Zizino, I don't care about the Lunar Works fit, or me being brainwashed or some weird fan guy, okay? Jesus. Are we doing this? Okay, let's close this. Oh, fuck. This is cooking Lycan again. Effort post. International law stuff. Oh, I should do this tomorrow. We'll do like all of this. Yeah. I was going to do this today. Bro, I can't believe my fucking power went out on the day I came back. Give me a break, right? The Vosh Israel-Palestine debate is so much better than the Willie Mack stuff. Is it like this thing? This thing, or?
All right, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And then here's my only request.
Bro, I feel like I'll tell you in a couple weeks. My last few days, my last week is like zapped everything I've known from my brain. It's like just dumb. Okay, sent in Discord, not this one. Okay, is it this one? Bro, hour and 12-minute debate. Come on, seriously?
What's up, man? Nice to be on the show.
Yeah, nice to have you on. All's pretty informal here, so no need to stand on occasion. I appreciate you coming on. Tell
Okay, we're watching this Willie Mack video. Do I care about Hassan this much? It's better than the Vosh shit. We already know it'll be on the video. Give August. Does August want me to watch this? It's up to August. Do you need me to watch this Willie Mack video? Do you need to post a response to Destiny watching? I got the Willie Mack talk. Destiny can chill. Okay. Oh boy.
Chat watching who you are and also what you'd like to talk about.
Yeah, so my name is Ian Nasser Ramatarsing. I'm a political scientist from the Netherlands. I was born in Suriname, a beautiful country in South America. Might be a little bit unknown, but I like to represent them still. And yeah, I'm a big Ayn Rand fan. I'm an objectivist.
Oh, Jesus.
for like 15 years. But I started out as a Marxist actually when I was 15, and I was actually very pro-Palestinian up until like 17, 18. Then I read Ayn Rand. My life changed, and I became some sort of right-wing quasi-politician, opinion guy. I come on TV sometime, but I'm trying to promote
Really? Come on TV, bro? TMI.
libertarianism and objectivism in the Netherlands.
I gotta say, I'm very curious as to how libertarianism could possibly lead you to support Israel, considering the fact that in terms of like the representation of statehood, Israel is much more like willing to impose force on the freedom of individuals than anything like represented by Palestine.
That's a wild take, Bosch. All right, let's hear what this guy is gonna say. Okay.
I get where you're coming from. I wouldn't say like I'm a fan of Israel. I would say if I would have to make a choice in the conflict, which side I would support, I would go with Israel, because I think they respect individual rights more than Hamas, which is currently running Gaza. So in a situation where there would be some sort of secular or like moderate government in Gaza, and they would be able to represent themselves, I would be fine with them having a Palestinian country. I would fully support that.
But there
So
was
in that
a
sense, yeah.
well, there
Go
was
ahead.
a secular moderate government, and it was sort of like deliberately pushed out by Israel. Like Israel took the land, ethnically cleansed the area.
I'm sorry, what was the moderate government that existed prior to Israel? What is he saying? What? No? What?
Have been restricting the rights of the Palestinian minority for nearly a century now, and Netanyahu and his predecessors have worked to push the Palestinians into a position where they're more and more likely to radicalize and sort of militantly oppose Israel, which I can't...
I mean, they kind of have always been radicalized, but I mean, okay. Oh, it's going to be one of these debates where he has no idea what he's talking about, huh? Is that what we're going to do? Okay, that's great. Let's do it.
Really blame them for, considering the fact that peace didn't really get them anywhere.
I mean, has peace ever been on the table? I mean, can you give me the stretch of time where peace was the approach? What? Okay.
You mean you can't blame the Palestinians?
Yeah, I can't really blame the Palestinians for thinking that, like, militant terrorism is the only potential solution for them, considering the fact that, like, there were decades of, like, Palestinian Authority and efforts at peace talks, and it seemed like no matter what happened, just the Palestinian rights got eroded further and further.
But don't you agree with me that a lot of it is due to the Palestinian leadership? Like, there were plenty of opportunities where they had like good offers on the table, and let's be honest, they lost many wars. You and I both know how wars work. If you fight a war, you lose land. That's how it always used to work up until now.
Well,
so if you lose like 3 wars in a row and you still get offered 92%, like that's a pretty good deal. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, that's not what happened. The area was controlled by the British Mandate, and when they decided to engage in the Zionist project, they engaged in the Nakba, and they deposed hundreds of thousands of people. A process which began before there was even any direct conflict. Like, this opened with ethnic cleansing.
He's just before any conflict? There was conflict here from the late 1800s when the first Zionists started to move to the region, Vosh. What do you mean? There's literally whole sections about the Arab riots from 36 to 39. There's whole sections about Zionist violence from 40 to 44. There's the whole, capped off with the whole King David hotel bombing. There was fighting from back and forth from both sides for like 40 fucking years at least. What do you mean? Like, it was just violence came out of nowhere. It's like and then suddenly Palpatine returned, and then suddenly the Nakba out of nowhere. It was all people living in harmony. Why are we watching this? Fuck me. Why am I watching this video? This whole video is just gonna be him saying dumb shit. He doesn't know anything about this, which is fine, by the way. But why would he debate it then?
And since then, Palestinians have sort of lost, but I don't really believe in might makes right. Like, I don't think that because you've won a war of conquest, you get to just indefinitely genocide the less.
Wait, hold on. Might makes indefinitely genocide. We're not talking about genocide. We're talking about ethnic cleansing, number one. Number two, you don't believe in might makes right. I mean, well, how were the Arabs going to get that land? It was because they agreed to backstab the Ottoman Empire with the British. Isn't that kind of like another might makes right argument? Isn't that what that kind of deal was? But
or ethnic group.
Well, a lot hangs on the word conquest there. So you're saying that when the Nakba started, it wasn't triggered by anything. It was just Israel just came in, threw those people out. There was no aggression initially from the Arab states surrounding. There was no.
This guy's phrasing the question so leadingly. He shouldn't say there was, because now Vosh knows that he fucked up. Is this Vosh's I'm reading another webpage look because I just got completely blindsided by a statement that I didn't know I was going to be challenged on? What a wild statement to say there was no violence or anything preceding the Nakba.
There was no aggression initially from the Arab states surrounding. There was no disagreement about the peace deal. There were no Arab resentments about this Jewish state in their midst.
I don't like
Is that what you're claiming?
I don't like the implication that Palestinians and everyone associated with them has to be perfect and peaceful at all times. Or
what a nice pivot. That's not what he said. Do they have to be perfect and peaceful? He's just asking if any violence preceded al-Nakba. That was a very simple question.
Or it's justified to do a genocide against them. Like Palestinians and the Arab.
Wait, what is the genocide? It was an ethnic cleansing, sure, but genocide? If it was a genocide, we wouldn't be talking about them today. They would have all just been death marched like the Armenians. There would be no Palestinian crisis. They would just be dead Palestinians. Jesus.
Arab states have done things that I find disagreeable. None of that changes the fact that Israel chooses to commit a genocide, chooses to deprive them of their rights, chooses to keep them in an apartheid state. Like, the idea of, even if we were to accept the idea that, like, the Palestinians have consistently been the ones to engage in aggression, which is simply not true. The opening of this whole thing, the Nakba, was predicated by scuffling in the area between, like, Jewish, British, and Arab groups, but the mass violence was absolutely put forward first, you know, by the Israelis with the sort of like implied permission of the British mandate. But even with all
you think the Israelis had permission to kill all of the Arabs there when the Brits were trying to desperately make peace between both sides? If that's the case, Vosh, then why did the British limit Jewish migration to the area? Why did the British say, sorry, motherfuckers, you guys are fighting too much. No more fucking Jews immigrating. Like, why do they have an arms embargo? Why were Jewish people smuggling weapons in from Czechoslovakia in order to get shit down there because the British banned it? What do you mean? They were under the British's... I know why. I'm saying, what do you mean? But in reality, Vosh has just read Twitter headlines summarizing all of this, and now he feels confident enough to go and debate this guy. Holy shit.
all that taken, like, acknowledged, you know? Right now, Israel has the power, and they're using that power to commit genocide and to commit ethnic cleansing. Nothing justifies that, even if the Palestinians have in the past been antagonistic to the concept of their own removal.
I don't like the use of the word genocide because I don't really find the proof for it. Like, if you look at the population numbers, they're always going up. I don't mean that like as a corny thing to say or something, but like, how is it a genocide when they have all the power Israel has militarily, but the population keeps growing year by year, and you keep claiming it's a genocide? It's a little bit weird to me.
Well, the population doesn't necessarily have to decrease for the genocide. But even by the UN definition, it could be like to impose measures intended to prevent births within a group, or to forcibly transfer children, or to attempt to bring about the physical destruction of a group. The reason that the population's been exploding is because a lot of Palestinians are crammed into an open...
Okay, so show that intent, Vosh. Also, fuck the UN and fuck any part of the UN that tries to change genocide to an incidental thing. Genocide has been very accurately, historically understood as the intentional destruction of a group of people. When you start going by these other weird cuck definitions of, like, oh, well, if you hurt a lot of people, if you kill a lot of people, then in that case, everybody around the world is genociding their ethnic minorities. Oh, you are transferring their children? What about when CPS takes children from poor people and poor people tend to be black? Oh, you're killing them? What about when cops kill unarmed black people? Oh, you're trying to bring about their destruction? What about when black people are thrown into prison so that their culture is right? Like, this is, yeah. And I understand, of course, yeah. The UN definition literally requires intent. It's part of the definition. Unless you're in Canada where they try to change it to make their own shit. Yeah, intentionality is pretty important here.
The reason that the population's been exploding is because a lot of Palestinians are crammed into an open-air prison where they have nothing to do but Like they don't have much going on in there, you know. But like they're forced into a tiny tract of land. They're treated as second-class citizens. Their rights are being withered away. They're denied things like power and water and food. And right now we're seeing it. Like right now, like 2/3 the population of the Gaza Strip is without housing. It's unlikely they'll be allowed to return to northern Gaza, which means this, at the very least, fits the definition of an ethnic cleansing, you know. But already 15,000 have died. I mean, it's very clearly like a war for eradication.
I don't find it clearly at all. Like, if this was a war for eradication, Israel would have been, they wouldn't have sent out warnings. They wouldn't have told people to leave for the south or for the north. I'm not sure. So it doesn't really fit. Or is this like all a big facade?
Wait, what do you mean you're not sure? You don't know if they wanted to know what was. He probably knows. That was just such a funny way to word that. I'm guessing, but.
I'm sorry. I get if you're saying war crimes. Maybe I can get along with that, but I just don't get the genocide claim. And I think it's like unnecessarily troubling to the discussion to call it a genocide.
Well, they give those warnings for our benefit, right? Like the only reason, in my opinion, the only reason Israel hasn't just slaughtered all of them is because the world is watching. Like there are limits to what Israel can get away with. The more it antagonizes its neighboring Arab states, the more it makes itself unpalatable to like American voters. The more Israel has to restrict itself. But
okay, but then why wouldn't Israel have just slaughtered them all in the, I'd say in the 20s, but Israel didn't exist, right? Around the Armenian genocide. What about during the Holocaust? Coming off the Holocaust, if they wanted to genocide all of the Palestinians, why wouldn't they have just killed them all? Right? Like, I don't know. It just seems like so, yeah.
But in terms of like war for eradication, that's the only direction this is all going, right? Like they've been continuing to expand illegal settlements in the West Bank for like over 50 years now. And with regards to the Gaza Strip, there doesn't seem to be like any other direction this is going. Like what happens to the Palestinian people, right? In the West Bank, they're being pushed out illegally, like bit by bit. And in the Gaza Strip, it's like, what are they supposed to do? Like they don't control anything. They don't control their own resources, their food, their water, their power. There doesn't seem to be any effort to integrate them. Like if you keep people in a...
Yeah, of course they can't integrate them. That's the whole point, Vosh. Yeah, they don't want to integrate Palestinians into their primary population. That would be called the one-state solution, Vosh. Of course there's not. Yeah. Yes, you're correct.
A prison forever. Like even right now there are members of the Israeli government that are just openly saying this is our chance to get them all out. Like they're saying it openly.
Yeah.
Jews were forced into ghettos first before they transferred them to concentration and death camps. It wasn't 0 to 100 overnight. It sure as fuck didn't take 3/4 of a century for it to happen, though. I don't remember the Holocaust taking that long, but I don't know. Maybe there was a time crunch there that I missed. Maybe Hitler had the fucking the purple stone or whichever one controls time. I'm not sure.
So like I agree with you on this part. I think this situation brings out the worst on both sides, right? So obviously, all the extreme religious Israeli guys are gonna seize this opportunity. I agree with you. This is their opportunity to get the land they always wanted, to make their Jewish religious dream come true, whatever the hell, right? I'm an atheist. I don't care for that shit.
But they're in the government. They're doing it, though.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But as long as Hamas exists, that's not going to stop. Right? You agree with me. Like, as long as Hamas is ruling Gaza, those guys are not going to get voted out probably, or they're going to be popular, they're going to have influence.
So you're saying all Israel would have to do to genocide the Palestinians is make sure that Hamas is in charge?
Vosh is going to set him up with this stupid article. I've had so many fucking people link this Times of Israel article that was like, Netanyahu and Israel have built up Hamas all the time. What's the proof in that article? Well, they say that in there, Netanyahu had a quote from 15 years ago when he was speaking at a meeting that he was going to do it. Oh, well, can you show me like what they've actually done? Okay, but the Netanyahu quote. Well, okay, well, like what have they done? Vosh is about to cite this because he's read, probably not even the whole article, but at the very least he's read the headline on this. So here we go, here it comes. Okay, what about when Netanyahu said that if you want to oppose the existence of a Palestinian state, the best thing that you can do is support Hamas.
Genocide the Palestinians is make sure that Hamas is in charge.
I would say if you are an Israeli and you want to eradicate the Palestinians, yes.
Well,
that
then
would be in your
But that's what happened. Netanyahu funded Hamas, gave them money in briefcases, and had...
It wasn't him funding them, Vosh. If you want to be clear on the conspiracy is that he intentionally let Qatari funds in order to destroy the Palestinians and to radicalize. That's technically, remember, it wasn't Netanyahu that gave him money in briefcases. It was Qatari cash. But close, Vosh. It's like I said, he probably only read the headline. He didn't actually read the story, so he doesn't even know the conspiracy correctly. But go ahead.
Other like governmental organizations within the Gaza Strip declared terrorist organizations and arrested. Like, there's been a protracted effort from Israel.
Okay, but I'm also a big fan of agency, and
oh, but he doesn't even know about this particular story. This is why are we watching this? Fuck me. Why are we watching this right now?
Now it sounds like there's only a one-way street, right? Like, Palestinians have free will. Palestinians can
How
make
much power
choices.
do Palestinians have compared to the government of Israel? Like, on one hand, you have like the residents of an open-air prison, and on the other hand, you have a modern military nation-state backed by the most powerful country on earth.
I would say this: Palestinians have one of the most popular causes in the world. If they would have a couple of moderate guys representing them, they could make a lot of bank on this Palestinian cause.
They do.
They could have a great economy. They could have amazing economic opportunities.
Wait.
Well,
how would they have a great?
to get rid of Hamas?
Wait. First of all, the Palestinian Authority already exists, and nobody pays attention to them. They haven't had an election since 2006. And
oh, why is that, Vosh? You're close. That's a good question. Why hasn't the PA had an election since 2006, Vosh?
And Israel pushed Hamas to be in charge because they have power in the situation. Also,
how did Israel push Hamas to be in charge, Vosh? What do you mean when you say that?
They have a great economy. They don't control their own anything. It's not a free country.
Well, obviously not at this moment. We agree on that. But you like geopolitically.
Wow, Groovy Drooby, thanks for the 10 gifted memberships.
Don't you agree with me that having Hamas in power weakens their case?
Yeah, that's why Israel put them there.
Yeah.
Israel put Hamas there, Vosh? Fuck, this guy doesn't know the history, so he can't ask him questions. I just want to hear the explanation for that. Could you tell me what you mean when you say that?
Okay, but you and I both agree that Hamas needs to go in order for the Palestinians to have any chance.
Yeah, but Hamas and the situation that led to Hamas was imposed by Israel. Like, if you continuously...
God, can you just please ask him to explain that? Please, just ask him to explain that. God, I want to hear his explanation for that.
Ethnically cleanse a group of people and show them that diplomacy doesn't matter because it doesn't lead to any gains. They'll choose terrorism. And that's not Palestinian specific. America did that in the American Revolution. Like, initially, there were missives written to the King of England as a way of trying to, like, mitigate the taxes or try to, like, grant greater freedoms to the colonists. It was only after the chance at diplomacy seemed as though it couldn't, like, even work that we turned to terrorism. And that was what the American Revolution was to begin with. It was terrorism. It was people attacking, like, in a lot of cases, civilian targets.
Explain why he's wrong, please. I mean, not to dive into everything, but basically, Palestinians have had a history of horrible leadership. You know what, actually? I'm going to go full Zionist on this one, and I'm going to blame the Arabs. I'm going to blame the Arabs for the entire situation, because this is what it felt like happened, okay? And actually, this is the pro-Palestinian position, okay? This is the pro-Palestinian position, because I think that the Palestinians have probably gotten the most fucked out of this. Here's what happened, okay? So you've got Jordan, you've got Syria, you've got Lebanon, you've got Syria, you've got Jordan, and you've got Egypt, okay? And I guess Saudi Arabia somehow manages to sneak in here with the border. And then you've got Israel-Palestine, okay? This is a 2-scale, 100% accurate map, okay? Here's what happened, okay? All the Arab states were like, fuck these people coming in. We don't want them here. We're going to fight. Okay? Eventually, Israel's like, well, fuck you. We are here now, and we're going to fight. And it's like, all right, fuck it. Let's fight and see who conquers what. And they have a big old fight. Jordan is like, I can steal a little bit of territory here. Egypt's like, I can grab, some shit here is okay. These guys up here get rocked. I don't know what's going on. Lebanon's entire history is a fucking mess, and Syria shit doesn't get serious until like the fucking 70s or 80s because God knows what's going on in that country or up in Iraq and these other places. No one cares. Okay? So Israel wins some land. Okay? Now, all of the Arabs, okay, are looking at the Palestinians and like, okay, Palestinians, we are going to help you fight for your land back. We're going to get your land back. Okay. And they're like, all right. So you've got Nasser and shit funding the Fedayins. You've got, Jordan hosting these Fedayeen camps. You've got, Lebanon and Syria hosting all of these Fedayeen, and they're all attacking Israel. They're trying to kill them and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh yeah, fuck it. And we're going to help you. We're going to beat Israel. We're going to do this. Okay. We've got our Suez shit in 58. Then we've got our 6-Day War. Okay. The 6-Day War is this big one. Okay. And now they're like, we're going to finally conquer, we're going to take back, okay, what's rightfully ours as Arabs. We're going to kick these European colonial settlers out of here, okay? And Israel is like, well, before you do that, no. And then Israel bombs them first. They lie about it, like, we didn't bomb you. That was somebody else. Your shit just exploded. And they're like, okay, pretty sure that didn't happen. Their shit gets pushed back, and then eventually Israel conquers more land, okay? They take the Golan Heights from Syria. They take the West Bank from Jordan, and they take the Gaza Strip from Egypt. And the whole world is so mindfucked right now that everybody's like, okay, well, we need to do armistice lines. Can you guys stop fighting? Because Israel's about to conquer the entire fucking Middle East, and it's probably not good for everybody, so stop. So everybody said stop, and they all stopped. Now, but all during this time, all the Arab states are like, listen, Palestinians, we're going to fight, 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 we're going to fight for you, we're going to fight with you, we're going to take this land back. You just got to keep fighting, you got to keep fighting. And the Palestinians are like, yeah, hell yes, I want to fight, we're going to fight, you guys are going to help us fight. And they're like, yeah, we're going to help you fight, we're going to fight, we're going to fight, we're going to fight, we're going to do it. And then in the 70s, Palestinians were fighting a little bit too hard, okay? And they're like, Jordan, you're not fighting hard enough, so we're actually going to depose you. And then Jordan was like, okay, I'm actually done fighting with you guys. Go to Lebanon, because you literally are trying to coup me because I'm not fighting hard enough. Fuck you. This was Arafat of the PLO. They went to Lebanon. Like, okay, well, fuck Jordan. He's not even trying, okay? Yom Kippur happens, and everybody's like, all right, we're going to get him this time. And they do get him this time. They get him a little bit, okay? They fuck him up, all right? They invade. They push back some land, okay? Israeli leadership is like, bro, time to arm the nukes because our shit is fucked. And then eventually, somehow, through the gift of Yahweh and the gift of the United States, saying, we're going to replace literally every single fucking piece of armament that you lose because we don't want your country to fall, and because the Soviet Union is back on the other side, and fuck them. Israel manages to win Yom Kippur, okay? After Yom Kippur, all right, now everybody's looking around like, okay, well, we thought that we were winning hard because in the first 3 days, we'd gotten closer to taking over Israel than we ever gotten. But now Israel is literally on the west bank of the Suez Canal marching to Cairo. That's a little bit fucking terrifying, okay? Pretty sure it might have been during Yom Kippur. I think Israel was flying planes up and they were marching to fucking Damascus, okay? Pretty fucking scary. I don't know how you're getting so far. Now, the Palestinians, all through this whole time, are getting hyped that Israel's fighting the Arabs are fighting with us. We're going to fight. We're going to do this. Now, all of a sudden, okay, what is it, 76, 79? Egypt is like, okay, peace treaty. Please give us back to Sinai. We're done. Just peace, okay? And then Israel's like, yeah, fuck it. Have it back. We've got it. Palestinians are like, the fuck? You were supposed to have our back. What do you mean you signed? And then, whoa, shit. And after 91, Madrid conference happens. People start talking. Fucking Jordan signed on a peace treaty. What? What do you mean Jordan signed on a peace? And then Jordan's like, we didn't even fight during Yom Kippur. I don't even know this. Was it Abdullah or Hussein II or Abdullah II? I don't remember. It was literally flying into Tel Aviv, having secret talks with Golda Meir, saying like, hey, listen, I think your shit is about to get rocked. We're going to send like 1,000 troops to Syria, but like, we're not really going to fight you. Like, don't shoot at our guys and we shoot. Right? Jordan didn't even participate in Yom Kippur, really. Yeah, and then Jordan's like, hey, fuck it, we'll sign a peace treaty too. And then now all of a sudden, now the Palestinians are like, okay, well, we've lost our united front. Jordan, which is like fucking 2/3 Palestinians, have backstabbed us. Egypt has backstabbed us. And the Gulf states are also like, bro, we don't give a fuck about your shit anymore. This is retarded. We just want to sign peace treaties. The Abraham Accords come by. Okay, more people start signing peace treaties. Now you've got this issue where for all of these decades, okay, the Palestinians have been hyped up on some like, we're going to fuck Israel up. We're going to conquer their shit and take it back. And now all the Arab states are like, we're kind of bored fighting. We don't actually give a fuck that much anymore. This isn't an Arab cause. We've got our own shit. And no offense, Palestinians, now your biggest supporters aren't even Arabs. They're fire breathers, okay? They're Mujahs. They're fucking, or Majus. They're fucking Persians, okay? And Turkish people, okay? Yikes, fam. Yikes when the Arab coalition to take back Israel is now led by Turkmen and fucking fire-breathing Persians, okay? Holy shit. Iran and kind of ostensibly, I guess, Turkey, right? And then terrorist groups like Hezbollah and the Houthis, which are essentially proxies for Iran, right? So now the Palestinians who spent this whole time hyped up that they were going to fight back and take shit from Israel, and all of a sudden they find that everybody's like not got their back anymore. And the Palestinians are like, okay, well, fuck. All we know how to do is fight. Okay, that's all we know, because none of these guys, when Egypt and Jordan made their peace, they didn't talk to us. Okay, they didn't try to fight for our freedom. They didn't do any of this shit. And now all these other states in the Gulf are rolling over, except for, I guess, Qatar. And now, like, nobody else seems to care that much. Like, wow, Saddam Hussein, fired off a few fucking Scud missiles, I guess. Good for you. So, yeah, I think the issue is that the Palestinians all this time have been basically used as a vehicle for the Arab League to fight with Israel. But when they got bored of fighting, they kind of discarded the Palestinians as useless tools. Like, oh, okay, we're done fighting with Israel, fuck it. And all the Palestinians know, they don't, not to be racist or to quote Ben Shapiro, right? They're not here to build. They're not here to be educated. They're not here to do this and that and that. Palestinians are here to fight for their homeland back. That's all they've known for a quarter of or not a quarter, for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. That's all they've known. And now they find themselves without allies on the precipice of, like, I say genocide, I guess, not really, but like their shit is getting fucked in the West Bank. Their shit is fucked in Gaza. And yeah, this is what I mean when I say, I kind of feel bad for the Palestinians because they were basically tools of all the other Arab nations to fight against Israel. And basically the Arab nations kind of got bored. And now the Palestinians who've only known how to fight are like, oh, you guys need to, sue for peace. And the Palestinians are like, we don't know peace. We've been fighting you guys for fucking 75 years. What fucking peace are we supposed to go for? Yeah, I think that's this is the plight, basically, the plight of the Palestinians. And all the Palestinian leadership is dog shit. They don't choose good leaders. They choose fighters, right? Arafat was here to fight. He wasn't here to lead them to peace. Abbas tried his best, I guess. I don't fucking know. I need more recent history to see how he fucked up in so many different ways. But the Palestinians just gotten basically fucked on this over and over again. So for them, transitioning to peace is going to be very, very hard in their mind, because even if you look at the polling data today, Palestinians believe that if they keep fighting, I think it's like 63% think that if they just keep fighting, it'll be better for them. That's what they think, because that's what they've been told for generations now. And obviously that's not going to be the case, and they don't have anybody good backing them anymore. So, yeah, what are you going to do, right? Go check Abbas's PhD thesis. He's absolutely out of his fucking mind. Listen, okay? We all do a little bit of Holocaust revisionism now and again, okay? Abbas did it, okay? Pretty sure Netanyahu thinks the only reason Hitler fucking concentration camp Jewish people is because an Arab told him to, okay? Listen, apparently every leader in Palestine and Israel does a little bit of Holocaust revisionism. I don't know why. I don't know. Well, I do know why. It's because controlling the narratives around the Holocaust is probably really important to, if you ask Finkelstein, it's the center point of, like, Israeli propaganda is the Holocaust. But yeah, people do. Bibi was not to the same degree, bro. I could be wrong. I have to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure Netanyahu literally said that, like, an Arab gave Hitler the inspiration for the death camps. But how do you counter people saying Palestinians only get attention from the outside world when they fight and do terrorism stuff? They're just wrong. They can say that if they want, but like I said, I think if Palestinians were pretty peaceful for a few years, like 4 or 5 years, and they just focused on, okay, listen, we're the highest per capita recipients of aid in the entire fucking world. Let's get aid. Let's get work permits. Let's just work, educate, build, or whatever. At some point, the world is going to look at Israel and be like, why do you still have these guys like on fucking Omega lockdown mode? They've got a democratically elected leadership. They're trying to grow economically. Why are you strangleholding their country? Why are you controlling their electricity? Why are you controlling water? It's kind of weird. And I think even at some point, Israel would probably like to say like, oh, well, fuck this. We're not going to lock them down anymore, right? You'll make some sort of negotiated 2-state solution. I don't know when that's going to happen or what that would look like. Obviously, it has to happen at some point. But but who knows? We'll see. But yeah, if like Palestinian people never push for anything peaceful, then I don't know if it's ever going to happen. So who knows? Okay.
Targets like, royal appointed officials, terrorism. And that was what the American Revolution was to begin with. It was terrorism. It was people attacking, like, in a lot of cases, civilian targets, like, royal appointed officials.
Straight away wants to talk. I'm in my Discord room.
Officials over here to sort of.
Do you think the blockade is legal? My understanding is that the blockade is legal. I believe so. Yes. I think so.
Secure a political goal. Like, this is how it always happens, right? You give people hope for diplomacy, and if you can't give them that, like, they will take violence. But that's not like the Palestinians' fault. That's just what Israel's forced on them.
But it is the Palestinians' fault that they're ruled by Hamas, right?
Well, I don't think so. No.
It just happened.
Vosh, I'm doing Vosh translations. Vosh read something saying the United States pressured the Gaza Strip for elections, and he must have gotten a wire crossed, and he thinks that that means that the United States pushed for Hamas to be elected. Yeah. Destiny, what's that understanding based on? Because I believe there are precedents in international law that when there's a threat to your country, you have a right to blockade certain waters for groups that are at war with you or some shit. I don't know. And I don't think it's ever been ruled like an illegal blockade. I've never seen that ruling given by any of the international courts, anybody that deals with that. Yeah, Vosh probably heard this thing about how the United States chose Hamas or whatever because they forced elections or some shit. I don't know. That's what Vosh is thinking right now. But it doesn't make any sense, obviously. Like the United States and Israel literally tried to coup the Hamas government in like 2006 because they hated the fact that Hamas won those elections so much. So obviously this is not true, you know? Like, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, the reason why everybody wanted those elections is like, well, obviously Fatah is going to win. You know, Hamas won't win these elections, right? Remember when was it Cameron that called for Brexit? It was like, nah, they wouldn't actually, right? He's like, oh shit, I'm out of here. Good luck.
Happened to them. They all just chose Hamas involuntarily. Come on, like,
well, no,
the
conditions that they had a secular popular leadership. It didn't do anything. Hamas was directly funded by Netanyahu. Like the idea to
Hamas was directly funded by Netanyahu in 2006. How? What is the? Can you explain to me what was going on here when you say that? Like, what was the mechanism through which Netanyahu was funding Hamas here? He's not going to do that, but
to just throw your arms up in the air and go like, oh, guess they chose this, like really kind of overrides. If they just chose this, Israel wouldn't have had to put their thumb on the scale so aggressively.
I wouldn't go so far to say.
Also,
I
quick
guess
question.
they chose this.
Really quickly,
sure.
as an anti-statist, why do you even care that they support Hamas? Hamas is an anti-state, like, terrorist organization that's trying to break the back of...
Hamas is anti-state? Hamas is literally an Islamist organization. They want to erect a state that maintains Sharia law and religious control, theocratic control over the regions that they control. What do you mean it's stateless? Can Islamist be stateless at the same time? Doesn't Islamist necessarily imply... Am I making that up? Doesn't Islamist... You must have a state to have an Islamic state. No? Am I crazy? Is that possible? Islamist is a religio-political ideology. The advocates of Islamism, also known as al-Islamiyun, are dedicated to realizing their ideological interpretation of Islam within the context of the state or society, I guess. Maybe you can imply it's theocratically stateless. I don't know how that would work, but okay. That doesn't make any sense, but all right.
Of the of the statehood that is violating their rights. Like, principally speaking, shouldn't you be in favor of terrorism if it means breaking a population free from tyrannical statehood?
Well, I'm not an ANCAP, so I'm a minarchist, right? So I don't consider government...
I'm a minarchist? What, bro? Did you donate to Wikipedia? I have not yet, and we need to. Space Kidders, we're going to do a dono drive for Wikipedia for all of the information they've given us, okay?
To be an evil concept. I just think government needs to be strictly limited. So in that sense...
What fact? The UN and Geneva Conventions don't agree with you, buddy. I don't think the UN makes rulings on if occupations are legal or illegal. I think the UN has resolutions where they can condemn stuff or whatever, but I don't think it's up to the UN to decide. I think that's up to the international criminal courts. I don't think the UN making a resolution saying this is bad or we think this is illegal or it doesn't mean it's not. The UN is not like the international legal deciding body, is my understanding of it.
I am an anti-statist if you're talking about interfering with the economy, taxation, all that stuff, but not when it comes to, like, there are legitimate functions of government. I recognize a couple...
The UN has the ICJ. They do. But a UN resolution is not an ICJ ruling, right?
Of them.
Well, then you're not, like, libertarian,
So I'm not
right?
an ANCAP. So I'm not an ANCAP.
Well, you're not a libertarian. You're in favor of literally the most tyrannical element of statehood. You're like, I don't want there to be business taxes, but I am okay with police states and authoritarian regimes.
What about Sharia law, Vosh? What do you think? What do you think Sunni Islamist governments want? I mean, like, bro, this is, dude, I need this. What drugs are Vosh on? I want these confidence drugs. Okay, holy fucking shit, to just say so much shit, especially on an issue that so many people are like talking about right now. You're not worried at all that you might just be saying like 50 billion things that don't make sense? Like, this is the equivalent of watching me like, how are you going to argue against the United States? We have 37 different states that all have their own federal governments, and they all have their own federal Supreme Courts. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you understand anything about the law when we all know that like fighting by duel is the only way to determine the Constitution? Like, it's just like all of these claims are just like out there. They're like not even. And the sad thing is that like I can see where they come from. Like when he said when Netanyahu gave them suitcases full of money. No, Vosh, the conspiracy was he allowed Qatari suitcases full of money to it. Like I know where he's drawing from, but he hasn't even read the full articles for the conspiracies. He's just like getting it from the headlines. He's not even trying. These guys went to college, right? Doesn't he have a sociology degree? He literally has a 4-year degree in this. He knows how to read, I would imagine, right? Yeah, Jesus.
Well, I don't know how you guys have it in the US, but in the Netherlands, there are not that many libertarians. So the few that are there are separated by...
With respect to Arabs undermining Palestinian autonomy, interesting note, Husseini, Hitler guy. Oh, Husseini was the big Palestinian Arab leader prior to 44? When did he die? That's what I'm thinking of, right? Husseini was the guy... this guy, right? Amin al-Husseini. I don't remember how long he had control in this area. I thought that after 48, I thought he wasn't involved much. Oh, yeah. After the war in the 48 Palestinian explosion flight, his country's leadership were wholly discredited. He was eventually sidelined by the PLO, losing most of his residual political influence. And he died in Beirut like a loser. Damn. And Nasha Shibi, more moderate, families were among influential Ottoman elites who set tenor of regional identity. After 48, Al-Pal government under Egypt was headed by Husseini, and West Bank military government under Jordan was headed by Nasha Shibi. Elite families used by Arab sponsors to form up positions in Gaza / the West Bank and maneuver against each other. But after 52, Nasser diminishes Husseini's role. Okay. Have you read Vosh's bachelorette thesis, Destiny? Fuck no. He was the Grand Mufti of Palestine. Gotcha.
Minarchism and ANCAPs. So the objectivists are always the minarchists. Then you have some Friedmanites. You have some Hayekians. They are minarchists. And then you have the ANCAPs. They like Rothbard. They like Hoppe. And that's basically the split in the Netherlands. But it's a very small fringe group here.
I mean, I'm also a libertarian, but like that stems fundamentally from desire for freedom.
Well, you say you're libertarian. I think it's a interesting.
Well, I believe in freedom.
I hate that he calls himself a libertarian. If Vosh wants to be a libertarian as a leftist, arguably you can do it because communism, theoretically in its most idealized form, advocates for a stateless, moneyless society in its most idealized form. However, Vosh explicitly rejects this idealization because he calls himself a market socialist. There's no form of market socialism that would allow you to be a libertarian. So it's very annoying that he tries to like have his cake and eat it too on like 7 different terms here. I don't like that he tries to do this.
For people, not freedom for corporations. But, you know, whatever the case may be, like, there is no freedom in the Gaza Strip. Like, they literally are in a fence. Like, they're fenced off. There are automatic turrets and security cameras and snipers pointed inward at all times. Like, we're talking about a group of people who are, like, America, to some element at least, is a police state. They literally live in a prison. Like, they can't leave. Like, they're just kept in a camp, you know? Like, it seems like Hamas is...
Tal Schneider, an Israeli journalist that writes for the Times of Israel, details a comprehensive case of how Bibi propped up Hamas. I've read, I don't know if it's this exact article before. I hope it's not, because if it is the exact article I've read before, it's a dog shit article that is horrible. Oh, I have read this article. This article is dog shit. I can read it for you if you want. I got into an argument with a friend over this article because it was so poorly written. I was shocked but it made me not trust this publication at all. I don't know what the Times of Israel is. I know that Haaret does pretty good work. That Salem does, but that's not a publication. That's like a watchdog group inside. But yeah, this article was so bad it completely turned. Or maybe it's an op-ed. Maybe I shouldn't treat it that way. But whatever. We can read it if you want. For years, Netanyahu propped up Hamas. Now it's blown up in our faces. The premier's policy of treating the terror group as a partner at the expense of Abbas and Palestinian statehood has resulted in wounds that will take Israel years to heal from. Hold on one second.
For years, the various governments led by Benjamin Netanyahu took an approach that divided power between the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, bringing Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to his knees while making moves that propped up the Hamas terror group. So already, now this isn't fair for me to criticize the article because I'm bringing in my historical understanding. This is a very strange statement to make. Benjamin Netanyahu divided power between the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Well, what do you mean by that? Hamas is the one that said that they didn't want to participate in a unity government, bringing Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas to his knees while making moves that propped up the Hamas terror group. Are you saying that Israel shouldn't be propping up Hamas, or they shouldn't be helping Hamas? Should Israel be attacking Hamas? What do you mean by that? But hey, maybe we'll get into the other one. Like, is it Israel's job to destroy the government of Palestine? Who knows? But let's get into it, you know? The idea was to prevent Abbas or anyone else in the Palestinian Authority's West Bank government from advancing towards the establishment of a Palestinian state. Oh, that's a pretty big claim. Okay. I don't know the year or whatever, but maybe she'll say, okay. She. Thus, amid this bid to impair Abbas, Hamas was upgraded from a mere terror group to an organization with which Israel held indirect negotiations via Egypt, and one that was allowed to receive infusions of cash from abroad. Well, hold on. What are we talking about here? Hamas was upgraded from a mere terror group to an organization with which Israel... Didn't they get elected in their elections? Is Israel not supposed to negotiate or deal with Hamas at all? Or what do you mean? Also, using proxies for things in the Middle East, this has been like standard practice for the past fucking century. Nobody wants to talk directly to Israel. Everybody's using fucking proxies and shit. But, okay. Hamas was also included in discussions about increasing the number of work permits Israel granted to Gazan laborers, which kept money flowing into Gaza, meaning food for families and the ability to purchase basic products. So should Israel have been blocking work permits from the Gaza Strip? What is the argument here? Should Israel have said no work permits while Hamas is in government? Should they have been taking really aggressive? Okay. Israeli officials said that these permits, which allow Gazan laborers to earn higher salaries than they would in the enclave, were a powerful tool to help preserve calm. Toward the end of Netanyahu's fifth government in 2021, approximately 3,000 work permits were issued to Gazans. This number climbed to 5,000, and during the Bennett-Lapid government, rose sharply to 10,000. Since Netanyahu returned to power in January of 2023, the number of work permits has soared to nearly 20,000. Additionally, since 2014, Netanyahu-led governments have practically turned a blind eye to the incendiary balloons and rocket fire from Gaza. Turned a blind eye? What do you mean by that? Pretty sure we can actually look up Israeli-Gaza conflict Wikipedia, and I'm pretty sure that we can literally see over and over and over and over again where, what did they say, from 2014 onwards. Well, first of all, there was the March of Return, where there were tons of people killed, over 150, and this was in response to incendiary balloons and them fearing a scale or whatever, or breach of the wall. We can see here, on 2018, 7 Palestinian militants were killed during a botched raid by the IDF in the southeast Gaza. Well, why was this? Oh, over a dozen rockets were subsequently fired from Gaza, 3 which were shot down after a series of intense exchanges, blah, blah, blah. Okay. On the 25th of March, 7 people were injured in Israel after a rocket attack destroyed a home, and then the IDF confirmed Hamas was responsible, and then fighter jets attacked targets in the Gaza Strip. Okay. On the 3rd of May, 2 Israeli soldiers were injured by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad sniper from Gaza. In response to this, another airstrike happened. Okay. Actually, hold on. I am so sorry. I just had a fucking brain blast. I am so sorry. I am so stupid. Fuck me. I'm such an idiot. I have been linked this horrible fucking article from so many lefties that I don't know if they don't know anything about the region or just like are linking things or whatever. And now Strader just did it. I just realized what this article was. This article is a right-wing article. Fuck me. Fuck. I just realized that that's the perspective this article is written from. When they're saying that Netanyahu propped up Hamas, they wanted Netanyahu to run in. Hold on. I can't believe it took me I think I've read this article 4 times and argued about it with people. Now I understand. This is a far-right article. When they're saying, let's see. Hamas was upgraded from a mere terror group to an organization with which Israel held indirect negotiations with Egypt. They're saying that Israel should have never negotiated with Hamas, ever. No negotiations. We should have blocked all the cash coming from abroad. We shouldn't have given these fuckers any work permits. We shouldn't have gotten any money flowing into Gaza. We shouldn't have allowed food for families and the ability to purchase. No, not while you're supporting terrorists, right? That's what this article is arguing about. I finally, when this says, so, because I couldn't make sense of this. What do you mean here? Practically turned a blind eye to incendiary balloons? What do you know? They have it. You can see conflicts. But, oh, it's a right-wing article. They wanted a full-scale invasion. That's what this article is saying. You turned a blind eye. Wow, you sent in an airstrike. Good for you. Why didn't you fucking invade? Why didn't you remove Hamas from power? That's what it's arguing for. Fuck me. Yeah. Fragile ceasefire with the Hamas rulers of the Strip. Most of the time, Israeli policy was to treat the Palestinian Authority as a burden and Hamas as an asset. Far-right MK Bezalel Smotrich, now the finance minister in the hardline government and leader of the religious Zionism party, said so himself in 2015. According to various reports, Netanyahu made a similar point at a Likud faction meeting in early 2019 when he was quoted as saying that those who oppose a Palestinian state should support the transfer of funds to Gaza because maintaining the separation between the Palestinian Authority of the West Bank and Hamas and Gaza will prevent the establishment of a Palestinian state. This is probably the one thing that I hate the most out of this entire article that made me not trust like any of this shit. Why would you say Netanyahu was quoted as saying something and not just give the quote? Why would you not just give the quote? If you say he was quoted as saying something, why are you summarizing it? How fucking weird. I hated that. Also, it bothered me because I know where this quote comes from because we did research with Katie, and everybody misses the whole point of this quote. Who is it that sent you that link? Straight Array sent it to me. And I've had other personal friends send it to me too, because I was like, what about this? While Netanyahu does not make these kinds of statements publicly or officially, his words are in line with the policy that he implemented. The same messaging was repeated by right-wing commenters who may have received briefings on the matter or talked to Likud high-reps and understood the message. Bolstered by this policy, Hamas grew stronger and stronger until Saturday, Israel's Pearl Harbor, the bloodiest day in its history when terrorists crossed the border, slaughtered hundreds of Israelis, and kidnapped an unknown number under the cover of thousands of rockets fired at towns throughout the country's south and center. The country has known attacks and wars, but never on such a scale in a single morning. One thing is clear, the concept of indirectly strengthening Hamas while tolerating sporadic attacks and minor military operations every few years went up in smoke Saturday. Where did the quote come from? Basically, now, you can argue whether or not you think the quote, or whether or not you think Netanyahu's rationale here is good or bad, okay? I acknowledge that you can argue from it, okay? However, hold on one second. What Netanyahu was arguing was, this is what Netanyahu said. We read through the whole translation of this speech. What Netanyahu was saying was, Abbas has lost control of the Gaza Strip. And what he wants us to do in Israel is he wants us to block all of the funding going into the Gaza Strip because I think he said that he was either, Abbas, the PA was either withholding funds from the Gaza Strip or the PA was withholding funds at Israel's request, or I think they requested Israel to do it. I think, somebody can fact check me if I'm wrong, but I think the PA was withholding funds from Gaza Strip. They weren't paying them out. And what Netanyahu was saying was, this is what you want, Abbas. You want the Gaza Strip to fail catastrophically, and when it collapses and it's a humanitarian crisis and Hamas owns everything, you want us to walk in, destroy Hamas, and then give you back the Gaza Strip. Well, fuck you, we're not going to do that. If Qatar wants to support Hamas, they can do it. If they want work permits in work, they can do it. We're not going to be the ones to cause the Gaza Strip to fail so that we can go in and clean it up and give it back to you perfectly. Now, whether you think that that's good or bad reasoning, or whether you think Netanyahu was right or wrong in saying that, or whether that's blah, 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 those are all up for debate. However, if you're going to criticize Netanyahu for supporting Hamas, to at least fight against his arguments, because that's his arguments. It wasn't just, we want to prop up Hamas because we hate Palestinians and blah, 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 right? Just a few days ago, Asav Pazilov, a reporter for the Khan public broadcaster, tweeted the following: the Islamic Jihad organization started a very noisy exercise close to the border. The difference between Islamic Jihad and Hamas doesn't matter much at this point as far as the state of Israel is concerned. The territory is under the control of Hamas and is responsible for all the training activities there. Hamas became stronger and used the auspices of peace that Israel so longed for as cover for its training, and hundreds of Israelis have paid with their lives for this massive omission. So this is like a right-wing article. I didn't realize that. I can't believe it took me like 3 or 4 readings to realize this. Destiny, I linked it in response to your claim that the link between Bibi and Hamas is nothing more than conspiracy and said, well, but this isn't, no, hold on, stop, Aaron. That was not the initial claim. The initial claim was not that, is there a link between Hamas and Netanyahu? The claim that all of you lefties have been making is that, and I bet if I go through your logs, I bet you've made the same claim, or maybe you haven't, if you haven't, good for you. The claim that everybody's making is, Israel created Hamas. Netanyahu created Hamas. Israel funded and supported, and they created Hamas, just like the United States trained bin Laden, which also didn't happen. But yeah, that's the claim that's being made, okay? So, yeah. If you want to just say, well, there's some links because Netanyahu is the prime minister of Israel and Hamas is the, de facto or de jure government of Gaza Strip, you can make that. But literally, why would you even make that argument? Nobody would argue against that. Of course, they're going to communicate with each other and do business with each other. Yeah, of course. It's not a right-wing article. Netanyahu tries to portray himself as a hawk, so criticism being weak is a way to hit him in his base. Both left and right wings agree on that. Oh, it sounds like an article that's attacking him from the right, that's saying he should have been more hawkish. Okay. Okay, I don't like this article. Okay, fuck. I can do like 5 more minutes of this, and then I'm...
Sort of like the...
People are saying it's a stance that both sides in Israel take now. That might be the case, and I just was not aware of it, yeah.
Oh, in that context, you'd think that's a pretty appropriate breakage of statehood.
No, but come on, man. Like, Hamas is misusing a lot of funds. Hamas is destroying the water supply by building rockets with that shit.
Well,
like,
Israel cuts off the water supply. Wait. If you have an issue with the water supply in the Gaza Strip, that's on Israel, nobody else. They literally...
I like how there's no engagement with the argument. It's just trying to find points that he knows about the other side to, like, fight back. There's not actually an engagement. Yeah.
They cut and restrict water access over there. So Hamas tears up a few pipes to fight back against the state that's bleeding them dry, and that makes them responsible.
A few pipes to fight back? They just try to fight back. They just want to fight back by indiscriminately launching rockets all over the southern part of Israel. They're just fighting. Like, bro, come on, really?
For the... what's the problem with just admitting that, like, Israel is creating all of these negative situations?
Well, a lot of these measures that they're taking, I'm not going to vouch for all of them, obviously. But a lot of these measurements they're taking, like cutting off the border, obviously I'm going to cut off the border. If I'm neighboring a country that is sending rockets my way,
it's not a country.
I'm not going to... A piece of land, for the argument's sake. But why would I open my border to that country?
It's not opening a border. It's part of your country.
It's not part of their country.
It is. It is literally... The Gaza Strip is controlled by Israel. They have control over the resources. They can...
That's different than saying it's a part of your country, but okay.
Control whether or not stuff goes in or out. They control the water, the electricity.
Only on their side of the border, right? They don't control the Egyptian border.
No, well, I don't know. Israel...
Oh, no. Vosh doesn't know anything about the... Is it Rallah? Is that how you pronounce that? Is it Rallah or is it Rallah? Or no, it's Rafah. Is it Rafah or Rafah? Because I was saying Ramallah for a long time, but it's Ramallah, not Ramallah. It's Ramallah. I don't know if this is Rafah or Rafah.
Only on their side of the border.
And now is Ian about to posit that that Israel actually secretly controls that border as well?
They don't control the Egyptian border.
No, well, I don't know. Israel missile striked it multiple times and blocked stuff from getting through. So it seems like they kind of control that too.
Wow. Quite so over the past 20 years, I guess, is that they've controlled that border because they missile struck it once? Or...
It's interesting.
Wow, Raiders Cat, thanks for that one gifted sub.
How, like, no one has any agency except Israel. Like, even Egypt now is just a sitting duck.
No,
right?
Egypt still has agency. Israel strikes the Palestinian side of that crossing. But yeah, Israel is the modern nuclear state backed by the world's most powerful countries. And the Gaza Strip is a group of 2 million desperately poor people in a ghetto the size of Seattle. Like, yeah, there's a pretty huge difference in power.
So you're saying Egypt cannot open up the border, make sure that a lot of food gets in, supply them with stuff. It's impossible.
You can literally look up like stuff Israel...
Vosh has no idea why Egypt might not want to open that border and has no idea why it might not be in Egypt's interest. He has no fucking clue. But he's just like, now we're in debate mode. Well, what philosophical points can I kind of like pull out to hit on this? Yeah.
in, supply them with stuff. It's impossible.
You can literally look up like stuff Israel has done to prevent the admission of stuff into
Why would you say you can literally look it up? Why not tell us? Give us an example. What do you mean? Wow, Raiders Cat, thanks for gifting the memberships. Can you explain why Egypt won't open the border? I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't 1000% understand why Egypt won't open the border. My understanding is that one, they have mutual agreements with Israel because they know that there was, I believe, there was a lot of stuff that was being shipped in and out of there for terrorist-related reasons. Egypt has historically had problems with the Muslim Brotherhood that have strong ties to people in the Gaza Strip and people from the Gaza Strip doing weird shit in Egypt that they don't like. Also, Egypt wants to strengthen Palestinians' right to fight for their land, so they don't want to take any refugees in. Egypt is in kind of a precarious or fragile socioeconomic / political situation right now, I believe. So they're probably worried that if they open it and refugees start coming over, they're not going to be able to basically do any shit, and it's going to fuck with their country even more, essentially. Also, Palestinians have had a really bad track record of going to other countries and fucking shit up. So yeah, but I don't actually know what is the 100% reason. You can't go by what Egypt states unless there's been like cables or something leaked, obviously, because Palestinian or Arab leadership is always going to say one thing, but sometimes there's other things going on. I'm curious what Egypt says, but yeah. People are saying the official line is that if they take in Palestinians and Palestinians start terror operations from the Sinai, Israel will be forced to attack on Egyptian soil. That could be the case too. That would make sense as well. There's a history of that happening pretty strongly. Yeah.
The Gaza Strip. But also, I'm not arguing that Egypt is good. I don't like Egypt. I'm saying that in terms of like what is happening to the Gaza Strip, like the negative circumstances here are controlled by Israel. Like,
that's according to the UN as of 2022, Israel has already illegally annexed Palestinian territories. I don't know if the UN can make rulings on that. I'm not really interested in what the UN says is legal or illegal. I don't know if that's within the purview of the UN. If the International Criminal Courts have said it, or if like the International Court of Justice has made like particular rulings. Although I don't know if the ICJ makes rulings on nations or just individuals that are operating as part of nations. I'd be curious. But like UN resolutions are not like declarations of legality. If you want to link me explicitly what you're talking about, you can, but I have a feeling it's just going to be like some random fucking UN report that doesn't actually mean anything.
Imagine if a country, like a nation state, arbitrarily arrested millions of people and put them in a big camp and basically like humiliated and tortured them like for...
No, Peg, I don't have your none. Oh, okay. The ICJ does disputes between nations. The ICC does individuals. I've got a lot of like international law that we can read up, and somebody that wanted to come in and talk to it. Just today my power got fucked, so yeah.
Years and years and decades and decades and decades. And over time, things got worse in that camp, and they formed like prison gangs. And eventually, the biggest, meanest prison gang with like the white skinheads or whatever was like, listen, folks, okay? I know you don't all like me, but I'm the only one tough enough here to break us out of here. And then like you look at the situation, you're like, oh, well, look, they've decided to side with these like skinheads or whatever to break out of prison. How is it the fault of the prisoners? When in reality, the whole condition, like everything that led to this was constructed.
Yeah, but you're leaving out so much context. Like, for instance, even if you go back to the Nakba incident, right, from 1948, I think it was. Yeah, like, I am sure that there was aggression on the side of Arab states, and they convinced the Palestinians to like, let us have a go at Israel, and it failed, and Israel clapped back. That is not saying the clapback was full.
Why is NATO bad but UN good when it comes to international judgment and rulings? I mean, well, NATO is a military alliance, and people would argue the United States has a ton of sway there. But the UN also, I think, is kind of weird against Israel, because aren't there like, am I making this up? Aren't there like 50 different or 48 different Arab states or Muslim states in the UN, and there's one Jewish one? So that's also like kind of weird. Destiny, go to conclusions. See point 75 and 77. Esteemed Destiny, in this epoch of digital discourse, your Sagitt is restrained and scrutinizing the Israel. You want to go. Thanks for the $50, buddy. I don't know how to make it so that my DGG chat doesn't abbreviate things. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Mike Wazowski, for the $50. Point 75 and 79. Legality of the occupation, permanency, and de facto annexation. The Commission finds there are reasonable grounds to conclude that the Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories are unlawful under international law. Find somebody to say it that isn't like a UN resolution or whatever. I don't care much about like a random commission statements on what they think like international law. I don't even think it means anything. It doesn't. None of these things are binding. None of these things have enforcement power. I just don't really care. yeah, I don't know. Yeah, find me some like real like international law stuff, and I'd be more interested in reading it, I think.
Fully good. Obviously, I'm sure there were war crimes on both sides. I acknowledge all that. But
so wait, what do you think
terms-
happened?
yeah. What I think happened, I think there were tensions. I think the Arabs were very displeased with how the land was divided up. And I might even agree with them on that for a great part. And the Arab states surrounding were not happy, like Syria. So they said to the Palestinians, like, let's have at them. And then it failed.
So he's simplifying history, or he just doesn't know it all. But he's actually kind of right, basically. Yeah. Egyptian here. One of the main reasons why Egypt won't take Palestinians because it's a big security risk already with the problem with the Muslim Brotherhood, and the last thing you want is Hamas members getting in and infesting the country. Sure, yeah. What source would you like? An org would you accept if not the UN? A criminal, like a legal body, a criminal legal body, like like the ICC, or even the ICJ. I guess it would be the ICJ, or something like the Red Cross International Committee, whatever fucking shit. I got like a whole bunch of backed up shit I have to read on like international law and stuff. But a UN commission, no, I super don't give a fuck.
took that back and took like Jerusalem and took
No.
pieces of land.
No, in 48, the Palestinians lived there. The British mandate in the area, like that was like Arab territory. There were Jewish groups there, but like for the most part, like the Palestinians.
And they bought a lot of land, those Jewish groups.
Yeah, well, the United Nations voted on the partition plan, which divided the territory into Jewish and Arab sovereign states. The plan was Arab territory. There were Jewish groups there, but like for the most part, like the Palestinians.
They bought a lot of land, those Jewish groups.
Yeah, well, the United Nations voted on the partition plan, which divided the territory into Jewish and Arab sovereign states. The plan was rejected by Palestinian leaders, but you know their word didn't count for much. So, with like foreign rule and imposition dividing people up, it led to increasing conflict until eventually, with overwhelming military might and munitions backed by the British, the Zionists cleared out.
Munitions backed by the British, bro. British people were like, "Fuck these Jews." We're done with this. Bro, munitions, they bought their shit illegally through Czechoslovakia. They smuggled shit in. Britain literally had an arms embargo on this. What are you talking about? Someone on Twitter is criticizing that Netanyahu is supporting Hamas with money take from the far left. They correctly recognized the article, and that discourse is actually a right-wing angle. Oh, I don't, this person has me blocked. That the Israel and Netanyahu propped up Hamas thing isn't real. It comes from right-wing extremists that were mad about even occasionally letting substantive resources through the 16-year siege transfer. Oh, yeah, true, yeah. I can't believe it took me 4 reads of that article to figure that out. Fuck me, I'm so stupid. Yeah. Ugh.
Nearly 1 million Palestinians and took over most of the land that was controlled by Palestinians. This wasn't like a back and forth between two militaries. There were indigenous people in the land, and based on the imposition of foreign governments, because a bunch of European powers felt guilty about the whole World War II thing and really wanted to make sure they could establish a sovereign Jewish state, they did so there, and it ended up in like the literal ethnic cleansing of the area. Like just it wasn't like a back and forth. Like the power differential was massive.
No, but
it wasn't a back. The power differential was pretty big, but it wasn't just. It was Israel and every other Arab state there, right? It wasn't just.
Like their army, and they were threatening Israel. I'm saying the surrounding Arab states, they had armies.
I'm only talking
there was
about
a military threat.
Sure, but I'm talking about the mistreatment of the Palestinians, which isn't justified by the fact that other Arab states are mad in the area. Like,
what do you mean? But it wasn't just the Palestinians. People always try to do this, where they're like, it's just Palestinians and Israelis. That's not the issue. Historically, that's never been the issue. And even today, that's not the issue.
I think the Arab states kind of had a right to be mad. All of their borders were decided by European powers, and then the European powers are like, oh, here's another country, here's a bunch of Jewish people, here you go. Also, we're kicking out one were decided by Europe, justified by the fact that other Arab states are mad in the area. Like, I think the Arab states kind of had a right to be mad. All of their borders were decided by European powers, and then the European powers are like, oh, here's another country, here's a bunch of Jewish people, here you go.
Sure, hold on, Vosh, that's fair. I mean, they can be mad about the Jewish people being shipped in. I agree with that. But like, they're mad because their borders were decided by the British. Okay, well, who's supposed to decide their borders? It's not like they had any borders before, bruv. It was all part of the Ottoman Empire. What are the borders that you want before? Also, warning, I'm speaking with a little bit of ignorance because I haven't studied all the surrounding countries, but it seemed like once those mandates expired for the other territory, for the most part, didn't they all kind of accept their borders without much change in territory? Or did that happen? Like, somebody could tell me, I don't know. Did Iraq fight against like Syria and shit for more territory? Or even in the Iraq-Iran war, territory didn't change hands, although that was way later. Did Syria fight for more territory? Or did Lebanon fight for more territory? Or did Saudi Arabia fight for more territory? Or I don't know if I don't think I was clear to the mandate, I'm not sure. But like, it seems like for the most part, they had their countries, they had their borders, like, fuck it, you know? So I don't know if like about this thing, like getting mad that the British are drawing up territories or lines. Like there were no lines drawn. And in cases where people didn't like, I guess, the new shit drawn, you had like the Turkish people like revolt and fight and.
Also, we're kicking out 1 million Palestinians to put them there. Like
1 million, Jesus Christ. The high estimate is over 700,000, but okay.
Yeah, that'll make
Listen,
people mad.
I think we can both agree that like carving up land after World War I and II, like a lot of people got fucked over. The Kurds got fucked over. In this case, you could say the Palestinians got the raw end of the deal. I'm not denying that, but if you look at the cards they were dealt in 1948, do you think that they could have chosen a better path than they had?
People are saying Iraq and Syria fought in a 1967 war. I don't know anything about that. So maybe they traded territory or they exchanged territory then or fought over borders then. That might be the case. I'm not sure.
On their Arab nations to keep attacking Israel, fully going for terrorism.
But you're simplifying.
Rejecting all those offers they got after all that happened. Like even in
What
2000,
offers?
they got an amazing deal.
What offer? What deal? So wait, first of all, I reject the premise here. I reject the premise here because every group could have done better always. Like that doesn't mean anything. But in terms of like how things have gone since then, for the Palestinian people, it has just been the slow loss of their rights and the crushing of their land into a smaller and smaller portion. This isn't like subjective or whatever. The UN keeps denouncing this, but the US is on the Security Council and we care about Israel continuing to exist, so we back them. Like the idea that the treatment of the Palestinian people has been continuously horrendous and unjustifiable is a broadly held position. The Palestinians aren't doing anything to the Israelis. Like, is there like an Israeli state that's being crushed into nothing and a million Israelis being dispossessed the other way around? Like, there's no comparison. There is very clearly one powerful group and one powerless group getting squeezed tighter and tighter over time. Now we're seeing it break.
Like, I would see it from a different perspective. I would say they got a raw end of the deal in 48. They handled it in the worst possible way.
How?
They lost the first couple of wars.
Wait, the Palestinians didn't. What war are you?
The
referring to?
leadership of the Palestinians.
What war are you referring to?
The 67, the 73, the 48. Like there are.
Hold on. Ligon linked something saying that the Israeli settlements are illegal under international law. I'm skimming this real quick because I don't know if you've actually read this or if you're just like linking me stuff that you haven't read yet. The one at the top, this says pre-trial chamber. Have there been any concrete rulings made from here, or is this just a document that they've used to show like they've got like prima facie reason to try people in an international criminal court? Is there any? It's just a 23-point document. This thing is 10 pages long. It's an advisory ruling. Oh, okay. So this it hasn't been ruled illegal in.
Okay, I'm not gonna fight with you all night about this. I just want to get a few things clear. Okay.
Okay.
One if Harvard, like the Harvard Law Department, made some commentary on laws in the United States, the Supreme Court, whatever, you'd see that as a pretty authoritative source for judging the legality of certain things, right?
Absolutely not. I got into a huge argument with Pisco about this, and I understand. I'm actually not even going to say I'm the minority. I think there is one source for supreme interpretation of law in the United States, and that's the Supreme Court. That's why I fought against Pisco when he was arguing about, there was that big paper that came out, I don't remember who, there were a few people that published it over whether or not Trump could run for president, and a lot of people like Pisco were making the argument, it was a novel argument, a new one, that, oh look, he can't run. But the reality is, I don't care if every single academic institution of the world agrees that Trump can't run, at the end of the day, the decision rests with the Supreme Court. So no, I don't think I would say that like if Harvard or somebody said that like, oh, this is illegal, then it must be illegal, because it's not under the purview, it's not under their jurisdiction, right? Much the same that I wouldn't say that you're a felon if a judge in Pennsylvania said, oh, I think this Lycan character is a felon. Like, he doesn't have jurisdiction to rule. Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So then going forward, for anything anyone wants to say this is illegal under international law, whether it's a human rights violation or whether it is the legality of the settlements or whether it's the legality of the blockade, the only thing you will accept from everything you've said so far then is if it has been a criminal trial from the ICC.
Not necessarily a criminal trial.
You've ruled out like the UN, which is an authoritative body on international law.
The UN is not an authoritative body in international law. I don't know why you're saying that. That's not true. UN resolutions are never authoritative or declarative about international law.
What do you think an authoritative body means?
As in somebody that has jurisdiction to make a ruling that then it enforces with some sort of like executive arm. So for instance, if a judge says this is illegal, I'm providing a summons for your arrest, and then you go and you've got to submit to their authority, that would be like an authoritative body. An authoritative body is not somebody that says like, well, we think this is bad. That's all. That's for like UN General Assembly resolutions. That's all it is. We think this is bad. Or what do you think an authoritative body is? You can tell me if you disagree with that, and tell me how. Yeah.
So this is from the United Nations. Just Googling. The main body of the UN settles legal disputes submitted to it by the states in accordance with international law.
Okay, wait, read that one more time slowly.
The main body of the UN settles legal disputes submitted to it by states in accordance with international law.
Correct. So, settles legal disputes submitted to it by states. Any of these
I'm sorry, you're going to deal the whole Palestine as in a state thing?
No, I'm just asking, like, my understanding is, I don't even think it was until 2018 when Palestine even recognized that the UN can make decisions relating to their stuff.
But before this,
But that's not my argument. My argument has nothing to do with Palestine right now.
Well, sure, but
My
I'm just saying
argument
that when
is whether or
you-
not the United Nations can make rulings.
Sure,
about
but has
international law.
Well, sure, but has Israel or Palestine submitted this issue in front of?
Nope. I'm just trying to get an idea of what things you will accept as a documentation that proves something.
Well, the
So-
documentation before was the fact that the Palestinian Authority and Israel, for instance, agreed on the blockade for Gaza. That was something they both agreed on. And it doesn't seem like Israel and another party have submitted themselves to the authority of the UN to make a ruling on this. So I don't know why a General Assembly ruling
because
would
they
matter to
don't because they don't need to, right? Like the people that are convicted or accused of crimes do not need to submit themselves.
Yeah, but
to
I don't
be
think the
judged.
UN General Assembly accuses people of crimes. Isn't that the job
My-
of the International
My
Criminal
point is
Court?
whether or not the United Nations decides to look at something and to make a judgment on it, do they need the acquiescence of the states involved?
For some things you do, right? For some things you don't.
If you want to make the argument about, participation, whether or not they got the full side, like the pushback you give to the Goldstone report, sure. But I'm asking you whether or not the United Nations, because originally when I came in here, you were saying before I came in here, you were saying that you don't care about UN resolutions. But now
Hold
you're
on.
saying, well, if the states
wait.
submitted
When I
themselves-
say I don't care about UN resolutions, I don't mean I don't have any care for them whatsoever. What I'm saying is that was in response to, is this legal or illegal? In that case, no, I don't. A General Assembly UN resolution isn't going to inform me about the legality of a particular thing. I don't care about them then.
So you're saying that that top officials in the United Nations, they do their work and they come to a conclusion. You don't care about that conclusion.
If you can show me like something comprehensive, if that was the case, then why wouldn't this pass through international criminal courts?
I'm sure that is a really good question. Do I have the answer for it? No, but I imagine it's a little more complex than just, well, that means that nothing's wrong.
Sure. Do you think it might be as simple as the fact that there's one Jewish state and like 50 Islamic ones that vote on a lot of these UN General Assembly resolutions? And it's kind of weird that Israel gets hammered with these over and over and over again when countries like Lebanon or Iran or Iraq can skirt by over and over again without any convictions or General Assembly resolutions condemning their behavior?
What does that have to do with the price of beans in Mexico?
Because if the price of beans in Mexico is being determined by a bunch of bean farmers who are only looking to maximize their profit, it would make me weird to look at a UN body that has 48 different Muslim majority states that all clearly hate a Jewish majority one, and that's the body that I'm supposed to rely on for authoritative rulings about whether Israel's doing something right or wrong. It's just a little bit strange, I think. The bias there is pretty clear. But there's always international criminal courts and everything too if something is like clearly wrong or clearly illegal, but...
Yeah, so the argument, again, is just to make very clear understanding of what you will accept when someone comes to you and says, is this illegal or not? So you're saying that UN resolutions, like, I want you to lay it out clear, bulletize it for me.
Sure, I feel
Someone
like an
brings you a UN
international. I
resolution.
feel like an international criminal court that like has the purview to make these rulings. Like jurisdiction is important, and being able to make these legal rulings is important. That like a court like that would be the one that would decide whether this is legal or illegal, but not a UN resolution.
I think you are hand waving and when I say authoritative, I don't mean as in like even though they do, according to what we just read,
Oh, the
have the
ICJ,
authority
I'm sorry.
to make judgments. But what I'm saying is authoritative is on subject matter and make a decision based on facts, evidence, clear actions, whatever, whether or not they can say that action is illegal. Like if a hospital is bombed without any combat in that area whatsoever, like it's not even a warring country, and a hospital is bombed by a military, clear cut, there's nothing, no evidence is provided that they had a reason to believe it's a military threat. Every bit of evidence proves that it was, and they say this was a war crime. This was a human rights violation. Would you push back on that?
Human rights violations might be more within the purview of what a UN General Assembly resolution can call out, maybe, I think. But war crimes are a thing that exists very specifically. I don't think countries can get charged with war crimes, right? I think that's individuals. I think that would be under the purview of the ICC, not the ICJ, I think. So war crimes, I think, would be the ICC. A UN General Assembly resolution, not as much, no.
The UN, so my understanding from everything that I've been reading on all the conflict and whatnot, is that the UN does seem to make resolutions, or they have reports that come out and their people determine something was a war crime. Can they charge for it? No, that's the ICC. But the UN still comes out and makes assessments of whether or not someone has done a war crime. So are you saying that those assessments are meaningless to you regardless of the conflict and the belligerence?
If you're talking like UN General Assembly stuff, probably not going to be very meaningful, I don't think. I just don't think that's I don't think it's an effective way to arrive. Like when I look at like, where are all of these resolutions and stuff charging like some of these other surrounding states with like horrible activity or war crimes or mistreating people or whatever?
Well, that's not something I ran into, or I'm sorry, that's not something I've looked into because I'm not interested in that with regards to the current subject.
Okay,
like
but that's interesting to
in,
me. If there's a lot of actual war crimes or illegal stuff happening, then show me an ICJ ruling against Israel, or show me an ICC ruling against different Israeli
right, but now at that point you're undermining the entire thing, saying, well, where's the other stuff, right?
I'm not undermining anything. The UN General Assembly resolutions mean fuck all. They undermine themselves. I don't even think most of them are legally binding. Like they're just like basically the UN saying like we don't like this thing.
What is the deference you would give to that?
Almost nothing at this point. I don't know what.
Okay.
Or what you tell me. What do you think a General Assembly resolution means?
I just wanted to make it clear. Yeah, to me, it's if they do a fact-finding mission and they come away saying a war crime was committed or a human rights violation was committed or the laws of war were not adhered to, even if they're not making the criminal ruling, I still say it's pretty meaningful, especially if they provide evidence.
Sure. If they've got good evidence for it, though, they should shoot that to the ICJ or the ICC, depending on who they're accusing, instead of just doing it in a resolution. That makes it look even weaker. It makes it feel like you don't have good evidence.
Sure, but I mean, I don't think I've ever cited one that didn't. But I just want to make it clear that what you're saying is, for the most part, you do not care about UN resolutions or UN fact-finding missions when it comes to assessing legality and...
After doing that huge deep dive on like the flotilla thing, I do not trust UN. I don't think I would trust a UN fact-finding mission on anything related to Israel at this point. Probably not, no. I would have to actually like dig through this stuff and see what the evidence presented is. I don't think I would just take them at their word for it.
Okay. And so then for you to accept it, the only like silver bullet to you saying it's not illegal is if the ICC had actually done a criminal proceeding and found them guilty.
Well, it doesn't have to do with criminal proceeding, but it's people, one, it's generally an independent panel. It's not just like, oh, here's all those states voting on how they feel with a simple majority vote deciding it. It's usually a panel of experts that are researching into a particular thing. And two, usually they're doing it with respect, hardcore respect to international law. And I think you can read as much. When we were reading the ICC statement relating to the flotilla stuff, a lot of it is with respect to and with regards to international law.
Really quick.
Yeah.
Nixon, buddy, since you have a lot of rage for me, especially after I wiped us on RAG, you are welcome to jump in and I will drag you in and you can come make the point because I've seen this so many times. At this point, Lycan is actually just stubborn and refuses to concede. So you can come in and tell me where I was supposed to concede. Exactly. Steven, you can help him out. Where exactly was I supposed to concede anything in the interaction we just had? Because you and I just have a disagreement on the validity of UN resolutions.
Sure, yeah. I'll read this part and then you can contend with this or do more research on this because, again, I've got like a whole bunch of international law shit a bunch of people want me to read on, and I might be doing that tomorrow. So I had a guy email me a bunch of international law shit. And his quote, bold in, the UN and the UN resolutions. The majority of UN resolutions are not legally binding. According to Article 10 of the UN Charter, which defines the functions and powers of the General Assembly, quote, the General Assembly may discuss any questions or any matter within the scope of the present charter or relating to the powers and functions of any organs provided for in the present charter, and may make recommendations to the members of the United Nations or the Security Council or to both on any such questions or matters, end quote. In other words, resolutions adopted by the General Assembly on agenda items are considered to be recommendations and are not legally binding on the member states. The only resolutions that have the potential to be legally binding are those that are adopted by the Security Council. As for the Security Council, for a resolution adopted by the Security Council to become legally binding, it needs to be adopted under Chapter 7 of the Charter. Quote, in general, resolutions adopted by the Security Council acting under Chapter 7 of the Charter are considered binding in accordance with Article 25 of the Charter, end quote, UN. Another means by which a resolution can become binding is through bilateral agreements, which are, in essence, contracts between the parties involved. However, like with any contract, these can be broken by the various parties and require the parties involved to meet their agreed obligations. Further points to consider when thinking about the UN are bias and Islamic overrepresentation. The UN has 193 member states. The General Assembly works through a majority vote, which automatically places Israel at a disadvantage as there are about 56 Islamic states that are members of the UN. At the same time, Israel is the world's sole Jewish nation. The Islamic countries often vote as one bloc. You can easily see the UN's disproportionately biased view of Israel by looking at the number of resolutions issued against each nation. An organization named UN Watch has recently presented before Congress Congress and showed the UN's bias against Israel. He links a video. And then, quote, from 2015 to 2022, including the above, the UN General Assembly has adopted 140 resolutions on Israel and 68 on other countries. For text and voting sheets, see the UN Watch database, which will include the 2022 UNGA resolutions after they are published by the UN in January of 2023. And then almost done. The UN Watch database also documents this from 2006 to 2022. The UN Human Rights Council has adopted 99 resolutions against Israel, 41 against Syria, 13 against Iran, 4 against Russia, and 3 against Venezuela. The link below relates to international law concerning Israel, the UN, and also touches on Resolution 242. I don't know. This is one part. I got like a ton of people that emailed me a bunch of shit on international law, but yeah.
I don't think that it's a good argument against anything, just to be like, well, there have been more against Israel than anyone else. I hear that all the time.
Have you ever heard the argument a jury of your peers?
Sure. Yeah.
You ever hear
what
that
about
people
every
are,
time the vote for Palestinian shit comes up every year, and it's only like what 5, 6, 7 countries that vote against it, 1 abstains, and the rest all vote for it?
Voting for what?
What is it? The Palestinian question resolution?
What, 242? That resolution is nonsense. I don't even know. Yeah, go ahead.
I had to Google what it's called. It's the peaceful settlement or something like that.
I guess I'll read this as well. International law and the settlements. Also, to be clear, guys, this is one person that's emailed me. Other people have emailed me. No, they haven't emailed me contradictory opinions. If you have a contradictory opinion, feel free to read it. I've got these posts on my subreddit that I don't know if these are pro or anti whatever. People just link me to these, so we'll read if these are pro or anti. I'm not sure. For or against Israel or Palestine. I'm not sure. We'll read it. But this guy emailed me and he said, Uti Pusidius Juris, I don't know what the fuck that says. UPJ is a principle of customary international law that serves to preserve the boundaries of colonies emerging as states. Legal Information Institute, Cornell University links to something. Essentially, it means that a newly emergent state inherits the boundaries of the entity that came before it in full, which means, as Israel is the only state to emerge from the British Mandate for Palestine, it inherits the boundaries of the mandate unless it agrees to give away parts of its land through negotiations. The above means that the West Bank is not classified as an occupation, as the land legally belongs to Israel. Here, I would like to present a personal opinion. I'm no fan of the settlements and I wish they were removed. However, they are legal. The West Bank, following the Oslo Accords, is classified as disputed territory, and any final statutes of the land will be achieved following negotiations which have never been concluded as to have some final deal. The only other state to hold the West Bank since the formation of Israel was Jordan, who invaded and held the land under military occupation, yet had no legal claim to the land. Another point of note is that the 1949 armistice line, which constituted the Israeli-Jordanian boundary until 1967, was not a recognized international border, but only a line separating armies. This is an important point, as it means that the often talked about 1967 borders were not borders at all and have no historical legal weight when it comes to the borders of Israel. Below is an interesting video on the matter of international law. First use of GBJ in determining boundaries. But again, there's other shit, yeah. But I mean, that's also kind of true too. Technically, when we talk about 67 borders, those actually weren't even borders. Those were just armistice lines as well. But
I have the resolution. So every year this is voted on. And my whole point with this, I'm not litigating it itself.
Sure.
But my whole point is that every year this is voted on. The last vote was in December 2022. 153 for, 9 against, and that included like the United States, I think Australia abstained, and a few other key nations vote for it. So again, we're not in this case. We're not talking about the Arab. I don't know. Is there a name for it? Arab Coalition or something like that?
The Arab
Bloc League. Sure. Yeah, like that. That's really not pertinent here. What's pertinent here is who has a significant amount of weighted power in the United Nations, right?
Okay.
So my whole point being, like, what does it matter if, those nations are voting for this? What does it matter if other countries haven't had as many resolutions sent against them? Like, how does that really argue against the validity of UN statements on these issues?
Hold on, let me just read this real quick. Okay, wait. What am I supposed to do with this?
My whole point is that a significant number of countries have voted for this. The Arab League doesn't really, have a huge effect here. What more has an effect is the ranking of other people who vote against it or abstain. And I don't think that that's a good argument against whether or not rulings from...
Well, this has been adopted, right? This is a resolution. It was adopted because it won with the majority vote. But this is like a pointless... This is like a feel-good resolution, right? This is like, oh, you guys need to figure out the problem. Like, there's no borders discussed here. There's no like security arrangements. There's like nothing.
Is it adopted? My understanding is it isn't adopted, and that
no General Assembly resolution. No, you're thinking of the Security Council. The Security Council, there's veto votes for 5 members, I think. The Security Council can be like, but General Assembly stuff is just simple majority. It literally says at the top is a resolution adopted by the General Assembly on the 30th of November 2022. This is adopted. There's nothing.
Yeah, but don't they do that they adopt it every year and it leads to nothing?
Yeah, because it's just the UN General Assembly. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. They just adopt this to like tell people that they feel a certain way about something.
I don't think I'm doing a good job communicating my point to you.
Okay.
So I just want to then leave it here.
Okay.
With it clear that you will need also Axel would like to talk to you.
Sure. I'm about to sleep. I shouldn't even be awake this fucking late. Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow morning my shit doesn't get fucked. So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So the general sentiment though I'm leaving this conversation with is that unless it is the ICC making a legal ruling through a legal proceeding, it's going to be a super hard uphill battle for you to give any concession to illegality on Israel's part.
Well, yeah, when you say legal or illegality, you're implying a lot of stuff there, right?
No, right. Sure.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so unless that has happened, you will not accept, for the most part, again, super uphill battle, and it'll be a fucking fight.
Well, it's not a fight at all. No, it's super easy. It's like you saying like, okay, so you're telling me that for me to call you a felon, I've got to arrest you. I've got to present you with formal charges or an indictment. I have to give you the whole trial process. A jury has to deliberate, and then a judge has to deliver and decide the sentence. Yeah, that's what it means to be a felon. When you say something is illegal, that implies something. That there is some body with some jurisdiction over a thing, with some enforcement or binding mechanism that can hold somebody accountable. That's what legal or illegal means. If you want to argue that like they're wrong or they're immoral or whatever, then yeah, I mean, we can argue that. I probably would agree with you there. But like when you bring in words like legal or illegal, especially in regards to international law, the situations are pretty murky or pretty complicated. And I don't think a UN General Assembly resolution makes something illegal, even if that might be the opinion stated in the resolution.
That's not my argument. Like okay. I was thinking about like those auto tag readers. Like you go through you go through a toll booth and it reads your tag, right?
Okay.
And I was like, I think with what they use, I was like, there has to be something you can spray on your license plate that like makes it so reflective that it can't scan it. And I Googled it, and there are covers you can get. There's certain film that you can spray on, shit like that. But I was like, I have a feeling this is probably illegal. And I look it up, and every state that I've lived in has had that shit banned. Any state that uses that stuff.
Sure.
I don't need to go to court to figure out if that's illegal. I could either look up the law myself and interpret it and say, oh yeah, that's pretty simple. I can figure that out. That's illegal. I could go to a lawyer and say, hey, is this illegal? And that lawyer is going to be able to use their knowledge and experience to look at the laws, see if there are any loopholes, whatever, and make a judgment. But some things are just kind of straightforward enough that you can make that assessment of illegality or not, right? We don't have to go to court to determine that.
Well,
so
but
my
that's
argument
clearly,
is that
what you do if there's a disagreement on it. In your case, it works if all the parties agree, but if they don't, then you do go to court to settle it, right?
You do, yes, if there is something to be disagreed upon, yes. But we acknowledge that there's more at play here, and whether or not these will actually go to legal proceedings probably has to do with a lot more political shit on the international stage than just, can this go to court, right? Just like when we talk about like Trump, when they indicted him, right? You yourself were sitting on stream saying the only reason they're doing this is because they know they have a really fucking good case, right? It doesn't mean that they could have had enough evidence to say, I mean, we are certain that he did something illegal. It's whether or not they can take it to court and prove it, right?
Okay.
Whether it's going to hold up to a jury, whether it's going to hold up to public scrutiny, right?
Okay.
So would you not agree that probably plays a role in whether or not something goes to the ICC or the Security Council makes a
well, it could, but I mean,
judgment?
I'm pretty sure there's already a case before I think the ICJ over this that's currently being deliberated. So that's already the process. And number two, whether or not something has or hasn't gone to court yet, then it would influence like the strength by which I say a particular thing is legal or illegal, right? Because what you're saying is, well, some stuff is confusing, we don't know, and it doesn't always go to court. Yeah, but then what people say, a really good example is the DMCA stuff around stream. People would say like, is this legal? People go like, I don't know. And what are we waiting for to know if it's legal? We're usually waiting for somebody to go to court to figure out, right? That's what we ultimately wait for, you know?
Right, but I'm just saying that for you are not just saying, well, this doesn't matter. You're saying, I do not care about this unless it goes to court. Almost every instance you were saying that with regards to this
Well,
subject.
if we're going to make a decision on whether or not it's legal or illegal, then yeah, of course. Because
We're not in a court of law. We're not making any kind of judgment that's going to impact Israel.
Wait,
we're just making our own
You're
value statements.
No,
we are
hold
making
on.
our
No,
own
no,
value
that's
statements.
not true. Whether or not something is legal, or I'm sorry, is your statement that it is of your opinion that Israel is acting illegally?
No, I am saying that I trust these bodies, and my opinion is dictated off of their expertise.
Okay, that's fine. Some
But
people
I'm
can say that.
comfortable making
Just like
that
how
assessment.
Pisco, I hope he's not in here, but just how Pisco says, I think that Trump can't run for president based on the Section 4 of the 13th Amendment or whatever, based on these academics that argue, and I would say that's fine. Pisco said, I don't agree with that. I think that that decision is ultimately in the hands of the Supreme Court. That's the only authoritative body on the Constitution. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure that I understand the what do I want to say? I'm making sure that I understand the barrier to entry for your consideration when it comes to presenting any kind of judgment of legality. And for you, it seems to be like the utmost highest in this situation that these
Hold on,
assessments.
wait. I'm not gonna let you. Hold on. I'm not gonna let you do this, okay? You keep saying that like the utmost and the highest. You're talking about a matter of legality, and that implies a court. If you want to lower your standards so much that you think that a group of people can decide if something is legal or illegal, that's on you. You're lowering your standards there. I'm not raising mine. When we talk about if something is legal or illegal, explicitly baked into that word is some sort of court body, not a group of people that just make a decision by majority. To be clear, I'm using the normal, ordinary standard for how we would determine if something is legal or illegal. I'm not using some extra special, ultra high standard.
Okay. Well, I think we're looping, but should we come up to this again? I will bring
Sure,
up
if
this
you want to.
conversation.
Yeah.
But
And it might be the case that that ICJ thing rolling through would say like, oh, they actually ruled that these settlements are illegal. And I go, oh, that's an international body then that seems to disagree with Israel's assumption, and they have ruled in their international criminal court that it actually is illegal, and they did a full legal, thorough analysis of it. So.
Okay. Two last things. I just believe it's more than just a group of people. I think that kind of undermines the significance of the United Nations. But secondly, I want it noted because what you were reading before when you were talking about legality and all that when it comes to like what the certain things of the UN, like these fact-finding missions or whatever, can hold someone to, that and you can go back chat in the conversation with Steven when we first went over the Goldstone report and that four-way conversation, that someone said, are these even legally binding? And I said, no. It explicitly says that at the top of the report. So I've had no misgivings about that. I just want that on the record.
Okay.
All right. Love you, buddy.
Have fun. Be careful.
Bye.
Okay. Okay, I love you guys. Tomorrow, my stream is not going to get short-circuited by my apartment complex dying. It's not going to happen. I promise. Yeah. I love you guys. Be careful. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe, my deuterinos. I love you.